Have you ever heard this? If you have, listen.
But thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate having you. I've seen you out here, Ruthie Craft. This is 75, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Episode 75.
Wow.
We've done 75.
That's so great, guys. I love
That's
that.
crazy. Yeah, I know. It's
You're crushing it.
Thank you. Yeah, we were just talking about that. It was like we didn't even know what we were really going for at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, the real, true beginning was in my living room.
Mm-hmm. About 6 months of just talking.
But
talking
he didn't I knew I've started my first podcast in 2015. So I've been like,
Wow.
this is like my 4th podcast.
You were like doing it before it was cool.
I was doing it, yeah. And I was doing it before, we were just talking about camera, before when it was.
Just audio.
This is how bad it was. I literally had my MacBook Pro and I had like a group of comedians sitting around the MacBook talking. That was the recording. But it was like,
I love that.
it just the idea I knew was like, there's a progression that I took to get there. But yeah, it's great to be here. I'm happy that we're able to get such talented people like as yourself there.
Where are they?
Yeah, no. You know what? I've seen you around, and then I saw you at Grooveline. That's why I was like, I DM'd you because I was like, oh, is that Ruth? I was like, and I had to ask you. I was like, were you at?
Yeah,
I
dude.
thought it was you. Yeah.
Grooveline's
Rips. Great.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
Have you had those guys on yet?
Individually.
Okay, cool.
I've been talking to Vic at 512 about putting something together, like a hybrid podcast live studio session.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And I've got a few different groups in mind, and Grooveline would definitely be high on the list for me because they're world class.
I know.
Yeah.
Every time I go, I'm like, wow. It's like I hear them for the first time all over again.
And I tell this to Matt Muelling, his guitar solo, his solo on 25 or 64 never gets old.
He's so incredible.
He's insane.
He never gets boring.
It's just like you're watching a tactician just do. It's like watching a fucking brain surgeon do. Yeah, it's the precision.
I've never heard him make a mistake, which is insane.
It is insane. You know, I actually took pride in it because this was like maybe a couple months ago, but there was a night where I saw him and I was like, is he off a little bit? And I'm like, I didn't say anything because I'm like, I have so much respect for him. I would never presume that. But then we were talking after and he mentioned something and I go, I thought so. Because it was like it wasn't quite, and it's crazy, but I thought it was also very interesting and worth noting that even guys like at that level have nights occasionally where the process, because you get it as a performer.
No,
it's
me,
a lot.
I never have an off night. That's ridiculous.
Ruthie Craft have an off night? You got to talk in third person.
No, I totally
no.
relate. Yeah.
So you've been out here a lot though. What are you up to these days?
I've been up to the same thing that I've been up to since I moved to Austin, which is playing shows. You know, a lot of that. Playing shows, booking shows, writing songs, you know, putting songs out, trying to do the indie artist. No, I'm not going to say try. Doing the indie artist thing. I'm trying and sometimes succeeding. And I'm having a really good time, kind of just like learning the business side of things. So like, whereas I came here when I was 25 with purple hair and bright eyes, and I was like ready to take on the world and get famous. And then I realized, one, that's not that easy. Two, I don't even know if that's really the goal anymore. I kind of just want to.
It ain't about fame. It's about love of the game.
Yeah. No, that's cute. You should be a songwriter. That rhymed.
Songwriting and joke writing, I think the premise is probably the same. Cut the fat.
Pretty much.
Get to the core emotional message. Get to the core thing you're trying to say.
Yeah, don't bore us. Get to the chorus is what we say in our business.
I like
But
Sure.
but yeah, as the years have gone on, it's just like learning and like learning to love the business side of it. So like I think of myself as a business owner, which is why I'm wearing this blazer, on top of being an artist, which is a part of me that I didn't even know existed or that I was capable of.
Yeah. Well, we talk about this all the time on the pod. There's different hats you have to wear.
Yeah.
And I think that it's interesting because you see a lot of artists that may be very good artists, but they're not as good with the business hat. And so I personally can reference, I've said this many times, Raul Sanchez, my buddy, he's a comedian from San Antonio. We started together in San Antonio in like 2010. And Josh, the guy that owns the studio, was in that group of us too. But it was like, And to this day, Raul's he's doing well as a stand-up, like he's making his living, but he should be Ralph Barbosa level at least, if not bigger. He's fucking brilliant. He's a brilliant joke writer, and it's like, but his biggest weakness is his business side. He's like, and maybe he's picked up on that, but putting on that hat where you're like, it's kind of I think it grosses the artist in you out a little bit, right? Yeah.
The business side is for me separate from the social media side, which is weird because I know that technically social media is a part of it.
They're intertwined, but they're different.
Yeah. So like, I like the idea of being a business person. My dad was a business owner, his whole adult life. And so I admire that and love it. But the part where I have to then sort of exploit myself on social media, and exploit my time on social media is a little bit harder. I do, when I post, it's because I wanted to post and I liked posting. I wish I was the type of person that wanted to post every single day. And I have so many people telling me, if you just posted more. I'm like, but what if it's okay? And what if I can still pay my bills? I don't know if I should be saying this on a podcast, but frankly, like if I can keep a roof over my head and keep food on my table, I'm not going to kill myself over the fact that I only posted twice this week.
And it would be inauthentic to who you are.
Right.
Right?
Because as soon as you cross that threshold, it's such a thin line from like sharing yourself authentically online to, okay, now I'm just sort of grasping for things to share with people. And frankly, I don't want my personal life online.
Yeah.
Like the older I get, the more I'm like, you guys can have a lot of me. You can't have all of me.
Yeah.
No offense.
Which,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I agree that I don't think you should post every day. For us, for the podcast page, it's been 3 reels a week, every week.
I think that's amazing.
And I feel like that's a good rhythm for us, because you have to be putting stuff out. It's finding that middle ground where you're not like oversaturating the audience you're trying to build, but you're also giving them enough to satiate and keep it, keep it going. Yeah. Cause it is hard though. Cause it's like, I agree with you 100%. And it's funny you said that because I was literally thinking about that earlier about some people I'm seeing out here, some artists, and it's cool. It's their thing, but they're doing like the daily life stuff. And then they have their art and stuff. And I'm like, I try to keep it mostly to just the thing I'm doing, not necessarily. But I think every now and then, showing showing an audience like something a little bit more behind the scenes or whatever could be cool. But like that's the problem with in general, not just an artist, but like in general, that's the problem with social media is the oversharing society that we're in at this point. It's crazy.
Can we all just stop? Can we all please stop oversharing? I just don't want to know.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want you to. I have regrets because, like, oh my gosh, I've been pursuing music since I was 16 years old. What happens from age 16 to 26 is, as a girl at least, you just have no boundaries. Like, I didn't know what was appropriate. And I grew up with social media. So, like, I didn't know what was appropriate to share and what not to share. Nobody gave me guidelines to this.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh my gosh, please don't ever look back on my old Facebook posts. It's horrifying. Yeah. But like after a while, and nothing terrible happened from it or whatever. But looking back, I'm just like, ew. Like I don't, and I'll still get people I haven't seen in a decade, and they'll be like, and they'll bring something up from my past. I'm like, how'd you know that? I'm like, I freaking posted about it when I was a teenager. Like, so I think it's crazy. There's a way to. Here's the thing. I think that authenticity gets conflated with oversharing. Like you can be vulnerable. Like in Brene Brown's book, if you've ever read Daring Greatly, it's incredible. She talks about this, like the power of vulnerability, but also don't be a floodlight. Like don't just all the time give everybody everything. And
you got to create some scarcity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scarcity drives value, right? Yeah, exactly. True. Same thing with dating. As a dude, you're like, you got to be a little mysterious.
Not too mysterious. But you guys take that too far, let me just say. I
didn't mean to open that can of worms. No, but I mean, scarcity as a business concept, because I'm a musician who went to business school. Scarcity in economics drives value. Like the price goes up of a product, the more scarce it is, obviously, right? That's what we're seeing at the fucking pump. So thanks, Donald Trump. You fucking douche. Yeah, but it's one of those things that that to me, when the oversharing happens, it's like it's you. there's nothing left to be wondering about. You're like, you just see the whole, and then it's like a reality show at that point almost, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a human reality show.
Well, some people are in love with that feeling.
Well, they're in love with themselves.
No, I disagree.
Well, I was gonna say too, the self-love versus there's like healthy self-love and there's like narcissistic self-love, and we don't have enough conversations about that. But anyway, go ahead.
It's like a fragile, inflated egos. The people that want the most attention have the hardest time loving themselves.
Yeah.
I think that it's easy to look at them and say like, oh, they're so full of themselves. Like, no, they're desperate for somebody to love them, and this is the only way they know how.
Well, it's like an external locus of control. Like their value, they can't self-derive it.
Yeah.
They can't fill their own cup, and their cup has a hole in it. And then you find those people. And the crazy thing, those people that where the deceptive part comes in is that they never stay with anyone long enough for like if you can't refill your own cup and someone else drains their cup dry trying to, set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm type shit.
Yeah.
And they dip and then they go to the next person and they still have their full cup because they just took, but they are the reason they leave and go to someone else so quick. And these are the people that jump in and out of relationships constantly.
So is this you or people that you've experienced?
People I've experienced, and not just romantically, but like from a friendship level too.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy knows very well what I'm talking about. But it's like, yeah, you have to like, that's what's tough too. Cause I know I was going to say too with you, one of the things that interests me with you and your journey, especially for like the last year, I know you had like a lot of crazy shit happen. And I know you had a manager that you had to fire, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
I really was curious to talk to you a little bit about that experience if you, are, wanting to. But yeah, because it's crazy because it's like, it's tough to know who to trust. And when you build trust with people, sometimes it can be destroyed with like one sentence. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough situation. It's enough time has passed now that I kind of just laugh and roll my eyes about it because it's one of those not goals, what's the word I'm looking for, checkpoints that like every indie artist reaches at some point, which is, well, we all had a crappy manager, we all, somebody, you're gonna have to fire your manager at one point, yada yada. I've been warned about that, and I think in the back of my head I was like, but I'm probably smarter than everybody else, so that's not gonna happen to me. And so I'm not.
Conventional wisdom did apply.
Spoiler alert, not smarter than everybody else. But I do tend to want to see the good in people a lot, which has gotten me into some really hairy situations throughout the years. Yeah. And so I don't want...
No good deed, as they say.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, I love that part about myself, but it is like, there's downsides to it. So this was one of those situations, and I always kind of had a weird gut feeling about them, but... and apparently other people around me did too, and didn't say anything, which is annoying.
That is annoying.
But essentially, yeah, he was kind of playing double agent all this time, and he brought me a deal, like a distribution deal to distribute my song "Make Believe." And gosh, we ended up talking about that deal because there was something fishy about it. So I really sat on it for a long time.
If you don't mind me stopping you to reverse too, how did you initially get connected with him as a manager? Like, but the point, like, just the context of how y'all were working together initially.
I had met him through a friend of mine who had, she would come to my shows a lot. She was like my Austin mom, and she just met this guy who said he was a manager, and she was like, you should connect with him. She's trying to help me out, And I did, and we chatted a little bit, but actually, no, maybe that's not how I met him. I don't remember how. I met him at a show or some within the scene. In the scene, right? And I did like some shows with the band that he was managing at the time. Okay. And so
there was a validating, like...
Yeah, and I had known him for a little while. And so one day after... I had gone through some things. I was like, I really want to pick a manager's brain about this, and he came to mind. So I said, can we get together and just like chat? And I was basically just interviewing managers to see if anybody would be a good fit. And we sat down, and essentially by the end of it, I found myself agreeing to working with him, and he, didn't want to do a contract, told me not to pay him, let's just see how it goes, all that stuff. I was like, okay, well, that's pretty low stakes. And frankly, it was. Like, he really didn't take my money.
Right.
The other guy did. And so we ended up working together for a year and a half, and it was a lot of like... Okay, I'm going to preface this by saying I don't I'm not going to dox anybody. I'm also not trying to disparage anybody, but the reason I'm giving certain details is because these are red flags that I wish I would have known.
Sure.
And so if there's another indie artist listening to this, maybe that would be helpful. So for instance, he made everything seem really, really low stakes, like it was a no-brainer. No such thing as a no-brainer, honestly. In this business, you know what I mean? Well, you should always have your brain on, all the time.
Yeah.
And so there was that, and there was also like he was constantly telling me every time we would meet, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm working on this, I'm working on that, I'm working really hard." He would put things in the calendar as like put holds on these festivals, you know, because I'm applying for all these things. A year and a half later, really nothing came out of it. Didn't really get me any gigs. I was still booking all my own stuff and making all my own money. And the vast majority, he wasted a lot of my time because essentially what he was doing was like trying to build my brand. And it took me so long to realize, like, bro, I've been in this for 14 years. I already know who I am.
Yeah.
I know my brand. And then he started it moved into like, well, this song, Make Believe, is the type of music you should be putting out. This is what's going to get you famous. You need to make more songs like this. And you need to make more upbeat songs. You need something with this BPM. I'm like, now you're telling me BPMs and keys? I'm sorry. I'm the artist.
Stay away from the BPM.
I'm the artist.
This is not your field.
And PSA to other artists listening, you're not only the artist, you're the CEO. You are in charge. Managers work for you is something that I had to learn throughout all this experience. And so things like that happened. But essentially, I worked with him for a year and a half and like literally got nothing. He kind of actually wasted my time.
And so the person he connected you with is the one that kind of fucked you over.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he's responsible. He connected you. So it's by, you know,
well,
as a manager, he did terrible.
Yeah. A manager should protect you.
Exactly.
And he did the actual opposite of that. He was pushing me into this deal, like pressuring me, and I was not about it. And and it ended up, you know, I ended up getting scammed out of $2,500.
See, and I think in the case of, we were just talking about oversharing. I remember you posted that. That's the appropriate time to share. That is the time to actually do that, to show that raw, because not just from the standpoint of, hey, public service announcement, but also people should know. And even if you don't dox people, anybody that's in the know that knows. And that's who needs to know. So like, if you're paying attention, I think that's the right way to be, let's say, vulnerable and show that side of your social, where you're not just putting out the artist content. You're actually giving, but it's like, that was, if I'm being completely real, that's a big part of why I'm asking you to be here today. Cause it's like, I saw that and I was like, fuck. Cause I just like, not in the same way, but I've been exploited by people I opened my doors to and offered my home to and like my car, and being like, where you're like, wow, like this is crazy. And it's like, I feel like that's the right thing though to be putting out, because and then in the midst of that, you like broke your leg, didn't you?
Yeah, the leg was
that at a gig?
It was a few months before that. No, common misconception. And I will asterisk this by saying that I have been advised not to give details until things have resolved. Yeah. So, but I think basically what I can tell you is that it was a freak incident, and I was not performing. I was at somebody else's show. And, but it was, I mean, it was, people think mosh pit, people think I fell off stage. None of that, dude. It is even if I told the story, if I told the detailed story on social media, nobody would believe me. When I tell people face to face, they're like, come on. I'm like, an anvil might as well have fallen on me. It was that insane. Nobody around. I mean, just a few people. It was like 6 p.m. broad daylight or whatever. And I don't know how much I'm allowed to share. A person, you know, caused my leg to break.
Sounds like liabilities are in play here.
Liabilities are in play.
I get it. I didn't realize that too, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was basically like of a no fault of my own. I was mid sentence talking to somebody. Last thing I said was, "Yeah, Burning Man is really cool if you ever get the chance to go."
And my legs broke.
Literally, it was crazy.
That's fucking wild.
So
that'd be a little
that
bit
was hard.
traumatizing too.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, it was funny that so my anniversary of my broken leg just happened on the 4th of July, and I was in Seattle this year because I was like, I don't really want to be in Austin for the anniversary, and we show up to this cute little parade on this island, and get out of the car, and the first thing I hear is screaming, and I was like, you cannot be serious right now. And there's this little girl lying on the floor. On the ground. She got bucked off of a horse, and she's holding her right leg, which is the same leg that I broke. And she's crying and rocking back and forth.
In Seattle.
Yes. I'm like,
On the 4th.
yo, the devil trying to be,
That's
he's trying to get me so hard.
It's fucking crazy.
And I just stood there and I was like, you have to be kidding me right now. And I had like if anybody who's ever experienced a traumatic thing, you know, there are PTSD episodes that come with it. And so my whole body just tightens up. And I'm just standing there staring. My friend looks at me and he was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like your nervous system immediately cued into hypervigilant mode.
And
like,
I knew I was okay. Yes. Like I knew, I was like,
but your
I'm in
nervous
Seattle.
system doesn't necessarily know that.
No.
Yeah.
No, you have to train it.
Takes
You have to
time.
Talk yourself down. Yeah. But I laughed about it later because I was like, are you freaking
It's one of those
kidding me?
karmic, universal, but also maybe I was going to say, and maybe I could be wrong, but it could also be that reminder from the universe that like you went to Seattle to try to not have this thing. It's always there.
Yeah, it
You
follows
have
you.
to, get yourself on the side where you're like, that's not affecting me now. I'm just not there.
And that's
Which
just
is,
time.
It takes time. Yeah, exactly.
That's just time. It's gotten so much better. But after the first few months after, I would fall asleep every single night and relive it, and I couldn't help it. It was like I would go back there, and then I would dream about it, and then I would wake up. It was my first thought when I woke up, and it was like all the time. And then eventually it started to get better over time. But then I was like, I got to a place where I'm like, I'm feeling okay. I think I'm fine now. And I was watching this show on Netflix, and this girl broke her leg in hiking in the forest, and it was an identical break. Her tibia was sticking out of her leg, like identical to mine. She's shrieking, screaming bloody murder, and I just go, and I freak out, and I like turn off the TV really fast, and I'm sitting alone in my apartment, and I was like, oh, that was a terrible idea. And I'm calling my mom and stuff, and again, yeah. I'm like, I'm fine. But yeah, your nervous system doesn't know the difference. But
Right.
I just tend to like stay away from triggers as much as I can now, just because it's just like, why put myself in that position, you know?
Good on you for getting back out in venues again.
Yeah.
Where
Not that one. Not going back there.
right, yeah.
I'll never go back there.
All right.
I actually moved away from, I used to live very close to it.
I was
moved
at
away.
Seaboys not too long ago. I forget who was sitting on the other side. They were, whoever it was, I remember they were a little overweight though. And they were just sitting, and then just, what? The thing just breaks. I was like, fuck, dude. Then he fell on the other one, and that one broke. And I was like, Jesus, dude. Maybe this is your sign to go to the gym, bro, a little bit. I don't know. Whoever you are that I forgot. No, yeah. That's so crazy. I didn't realize how, like, just chaotic, because it's like, it's one thing to break your leg. There's a lot of ways to break a leg, right?
It's true.
You generally want to be doing it on stage, is where you want most of the leg breaking to be happening.
Yeah, it would have been a cooler
You
story.
didn't break your leg while you were breaking a leg.
No, I
but,
really didn't.
I just imagine, I'm like putting myself there. I'm like, the closest I could relate would be, I had a car accident like 5 or 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
6,
Fuck.
7?
It was bad. 6. Oh, God damn it.
That's all the kids
You
are
must
saying
have
these
nieces
days.
and nephews.
I do.
Yeah, same.
It's the only reason I know it.
I haven't procreated, but other parts of my family have decided to do this. Now I have 6s and 7s. No, but like, I heard it was like a very traumatic accident, because it was one of these that it was really early. I was really tired. I was coming back from Dallas to Austin, and I was like I had my maps, and I was trying to like get that. And I looked down for this, like, what felt like, it probably was longer than what I thought, but it felt like just hardly a second. Enough to like, I'm like, if I'm looking down, I'm always kind of still. And I just look, and it was like, I was going like 70, and this guy must have been going like 30 or 40 miles an hour on the highway. So the impact speed was like big time. And you're like, that crash of metal for a while, it was in my
That sound.
ear. And I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. And the guy, it was so bad, the tower, the record that came to get the car, and this guy clearly assuming does this a lot, sees a lot of accidents. Was like, he looked at my car and he looked at me and he goes, I can't believe you're just walking around like this. Like, that's crazy.
You didn't break any bones
Nothing. I had some bruise here.
Seatbelt
I've never
bruise?
broken a bone.
I mean, yeah. I
But
said that
that's
4
not
days
just.
before I broke
There's
my
a difference, though. Most people break. It's like a fracture, maybe, or just.
Yeah.
Your finger was literally breaking through the skin. That's what was happening.
Sure was.
Could you
didn't
even
see the
look
picture?
at that in the moment? I wouldn't. I don't think I would even be able to look at it.
Did you
if
see
I
the
were there.
picture?
I think I saw
I posted it.
pictures. I think maybe
pretty cool.
I think my mind didn't want it. I think I saw enough to know. I know enough because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it is. I can't. Like I said, I can only imagine how traumatic that was. Because
Well,
Yeah,
once they
significant.
gave me the ketamine, it was like, this is cool.
It's like, I can
Before-
see my bone. That's
Yeah.
cool. You don't usually get to see that.
Literally.
yo,
So-
that's a band name I came up with the other day. The K holes, by the way.
The camel.
It's good. Yeah. So when it happened, thank God. It was, 4th of July, so it was 1 billion degrees outside. And I decided to wear pants that day because they were red and festive. And they were bell bottoms and they were my favorite pants and they cut them off of me. And I'm still upset about it. So if anybody out there has a link
Bell
to some
bottoms. Love it.
stretchy red and black plaid bell bottoms,
There you go.
let a girl know because I miss them. But I laid down and I was like, I tried to get up and I was like, oh, I can't feel my foot because the pain hadn't set in yet, just numbness. And then I reached down over my pant leg and I was like, that doesn't feel like skin. And I felt just rock hard bone. And then you're going to be okay. I can stop.
Yeah, no. Go ahead, go ahead. I just like, that's like, fuck.
So then I laid back down and I said,
I can't even look at needle. If I ever have to get blood, I can't even look at the needle. Like I just.
you know what helps?
We're flesh sacks. I get it, but
You know what helps
yeah.
that? Breaking your leg.
Yeah,
Can handle anything now.
having a bone sticking out of your fucking skin like you're in
Literally.
fucking Normandy.
Literally nothing hurts. I got burned yesterday and I was like, like
You know what?
boiling hot
Good
water
point.
and I didn't even feel it.
Touche. Great silver lining. Pain's really gonna feel pretty.
I used to hate getting my blood drawn. It's so easy now. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
That
You
is
know?
that is very. You know what? It's like the universe gave you that
Silver
gift
lining.
there, right?
Right.
That's insane.
So anyway, I laid back down.
Yeah.
I told my friend, I was like, hey, my leg's broken. He's like, are you sure? And I lift up my pant leg and I go, why don't you tell me what you think?
Were you this calm?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Shock
the
is
shock-
crazy.
Yeah.
Shock is crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
It's shock, but also couple of factors. I had listened to a podcast with Jeremy Renner a few weeks before. You know Jeremy Renner, the actor? Do you know about his accident?
I
snowmobile?
did. I knew he was in an accident that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A snowmobile basically
snowmobile.
pulverized him. And like his eyeball came out and just a bunch of gross stuff. It's a really cool interview.
And they
But
were able to reattach it.
everything. They fixed his face. They reconstructed his face. But the point is that he was on Joe Rogan or Modern Wisdom or something, and he wrote a book called My Next Breath because he said that when he was in that state, the only thing that made him survive was that he couldn't think about staying alive. He couldn't think about what was going to happen next. He had to think about his next breath, one at a time,
Yeah.
and not one before or after that. And so
Hyper presence.
when I was laying on the ground, I remembered that interview and his advice. And so when the pain kicked in,
Shout out Jeremy Renner.
just shout out Jeremy Renner. I love you. Marry
Come
me.
on our podcast.
I'm single.
I mean, we're getting a higher profile. You never
Anyway,
know. You never know
okay.
out here, right?
So,
That's right.
so
Yeah.
I remembered that, and I focused on my next breath, and also I sang my favorite hymn. That really helped. I talked to God a lot, and those things.
You're like, I didn't even believe in God when I woke up in the morning.
No, I definitely believed in God, and I'm really thankful that I did
Yeah.
because that was very, very. I know I couldn't have gotten through it.
Calming presence of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
The EMTs literally told me, they were like, did you take drugs? And I was like, no. They're like, did you have a lot to drink? And I was like, I had 1.5 White Claws. And they took my vitals and they said, your vitals are immaculate. And I was like, thanks, I work out. And I did say that. And even a few weeks later, I played the Long Center
You're
in
like,
a wheelchair.
my femur may be broken, but I'm still witty as
Yeah, oh no. That's what I went to. I just made everybody laugh because it made me feel better.
Yeah.
But even one of the EMTs came to my show that I played in a wheelchair a few weeks later. She just happened to be there, and she was like, I was the EMT when you broke your leg. And she told me again, because I'm not misremembering it. She was like, you were so unbelievably calm that day. I'm not saying this to pat myself on the back, but
Sure.
like if God forbid something like this ever happens to anybody who's listening, is focus on your next breath. Talk to God, even if you don't think you believe in him. I promise it helps. And honestly,
or
telling
just appeal
jokes.
to something bigger, higher.
Yeah.
At that moment.
And I mean, humming, singing is so good for calming you down. And
Yeah.
so, but because it was a long time before I was able to get the pain meds.
Yeah. Well, luckily your brain also got built-in pain meds it can dump in there
Isn't
at
that
times of
crazy?
need. Yeah.
I mean, it still hurt like,
Well, it's like
the Dickens, but
Yeah, but it's like the thing about drugs that's crazy is that like when you think about drugs, it's not really the drug itself necessarily ever that's doing anything. It's what the drug is doing to your brain
Yeah, it's
to
changing
make
your
your brain give you certain chemicals in a way that it doesn't normally do. But it's all originating within your mind. So it's like, yeah, I think that's probably what have kept you in that, because it was probably such a hyper traumatic moment of. It's interesting because I felt the same way, and it was not physical pain, it was emotional pain the day I found out my best friend died. Because it was like, just quiet, it got quiet. And it was like, it's like the movie Gravity.
that movie stresses me out.
But it's like, it's that, there's that,
Silence.
just that very deep silence feeling, where, and it's like, where I was just floating around though. But it was like, it quieted things to me
Because nothing else mattered.
Yeah, it was like, and my ex at the time was like, literally, I called her twice and she picked up, or she didn't pick up, and I texted her, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, because like obviously I'm calling you back, like something's not right if I wouldn't normally do that, and she's like, I was like, Mark just died, and she's like, oh, I can't talk right now. And I was like,
What?
yeah. Well, I found out later that's because she was with the guy she was cheating on me with at the
Oh
yeah,
my
I know.
gosh.
A lot, right?
Plot twist.
A lot. Yeah. I don't know if I've said that I talked about any of this on this podcast, but
Gosh, I'm so sorry.
no, I mean, it's like a decade ago now, so I'm like well
Yeah,
past
but-
it. But thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
We'll pray for her.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
Oh, right. But it's like, so it was like a double whammy in that moment with
Oh my
what the
gosh.
way, because like the moment of my greatest
Yeah.
need for her to have her, she was not there. So it's like, oh, okay. Like, because that's like, adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. So, that's really where that's the other silver lining of traumatic things happening, is that
Yeah.
you get to find out who really fucks with you and
Who's
who
the
doesn't.
real ones?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah. I mean, that happened to me when I broke my leg. Like, I didn't realize how many good friends I had around me. And also some fair weather friends.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I had more good friends
Yeah.
than not. And so that was really affirming that,
Yeah.
I actually had a better community than I thought. But I've been through things before where, I've been dating somebody, and I mean, I want to tell any stories because
No,
if they ever listen to
have
it.
at it.
But
I was like, I opened that can of worms earlier with the dating thing, but I'm like, free, go for it.
But you okay, like one time I got a kidney infection a few years ago, and it was really severe and scary. And like if I had waited a day longer, I could have gone septic, and I was having trouble breathing and all these things. And this guy, he did the right thing. He took me to the hospital. But then like he was there for a couple of hours, and then he left to go record with his band, which I don't know, interesting. I'd be interested in your perspective on this. At the time, that was kind of hurtful because it's like, oh, well, my family doesn't live here. I'm completely alone in this fluorescent hospital room. I'm at the time, the most pain I'd ever experienced in my life. And my boyfriend is not going to be here with me. I had to have my guitar player pick me up from the airport and go to the pharmacy for me.
I think it speaks to something higher about the care. I mean, that's the guy that's not going to think about probably not like keeping you on the inside when you're walking on the street, like keeping you.
Yeah. Oh, I love when guys do that. That's
like,
so sweet. Every guy should
That's
do
not
that.
the guy like I'm hyper. If you ever go to a restaurant with me, I have to be facing. I have to have my eyes on
the door.
all the exits, or like I need to know. Like it's just it's from my dad. My dad was a cop, so. But yeah, so like, but the level of care that moment requires, you know, you're seeing him not tune into what is needed. And I think it's also just a general thing of like the character of someone, if you're like, maybe empathy, or I don't know, but it's like in that moment, yeah, you know, you see it as this is like way far from normal, and you know, she needs me right now. And it's like, to the credit of that ex of mine, the reason I came back from New York, because I was living there for a few years, was because I almost died, and it was like alcohol. And when I literally was having a great time, and then I woke up and there was a hospital, but my ex was sitting next to me in the hospital room, or like when I woke up. But it was like the level of care that you feel, you weren't experiencing it, and it's like a heartbreaking thing for you, not just because you're experiencing this physical ailment, but then add on this emotional
Dude, have
thing.
you ever been, also really quick before I move on, I just want to caveat this by saying we're buddies now. He's great. Everything's
good.
fine.
That's
I
good.
feel really bad about saying anything
Well,
negative.
no, and
but
I don't think you were. I think it's just that there was that disconnect.
it was hard in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you ever like had the flu and been alone and just had nobody?
I don't get sick, but
Okay, well, good for you. I don't usually get sick either, but
I've never gotten the flu. Maybe once in my whole life.
okay, Kai, have you ever gotten the flu? and
Actually,
been alone?
earlier this year,
Can I just say
I'd
it?
flown back from LA. and it
7th
was
grade
rough.
year, summer, or winter break, Christmas break.
Yeah.
7th grade year. My family is 6. Every single person got the flu except.
Okay.
And you know why? Because I'm like,
you
I don't get
what do
sick.
you want a trophy?
I don't get sick.
You want a cookie?
Yeah. Get out of here.
I don't go to the doctor. No, anyway.
No, but yeah, like earlier this year in February, I flew back home to visit my folks and flew back here, caught something probably on the plane. And it was probably the worst flu, like fever I've had in a long time in my adult life. Because, you know, I'd get sick as a kid, as most kids do. But it was like trying to go to work. It was ridiculous. And like I had a fever of like creeping up on 102. It was bad.
Yeah.
And I live alone out here. And it's just like
And there's
powering
something,
through it.
I don't know how it is for guys. Maybe I'm just an emotional girl or whatever, but like there's something about having the flu and being alone that is like when you throw up and there's nobody there to like give you emotional support, it is so much worse. It's like 10
even
times
not
worse.
even just emotional, like material support.
Yeah,
you
also
know,
that.
You know, like
Yeah.
because that's like for me. If there's ever a moment if I was sick, that's the one of the very few moments where I really could use the material support.
Yeah.
And it's like having that, but the emotional component, I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know.
So you want somebody, like, I'm looking for somebody who will not only like be there for me, be there with me when I'm sick, but because that to me, that says that like when when a parent dies one day,
Right.
they're going to be there for me on that day
This
too.
is going to be the emotional anchor for me to like get through that. I need that.
yeah.
You know, person.
Like be there
Yeah.
for the big stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy how people bail on that big stuff. It's wild.
Yeah.
You're
They
like,
get
oh
scared.
shit, we're not even
People,
friends.
yeah, who are you?
That's like you taught that shit from like 10 years ago. I got much fresher, fucked up shit too. Plenty of it.
I think
Plenty
people
of it.
are what if I had to guess, I think that some people never learned the skill of vulnerability, and so when they see somebody else hurting, they don't know what to do. It's kind of like if
Mm-hmm.
somebody cries, like some people they like try to fix it, or they just like disappear, or
Yeah.
like when somebody is having a hard time, it's so hard for people to just sit because
Yeah.
look, I don't want you to make me feel better. I don't want you to do anything for me. I just want you to sit
Well,
and be with me.
And even just be available.
Be
It's
available.
like the first rule of drug dealing, you know?
Right.
Always be available.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that one. Yeah.
No, we're kidding. No, but just again, I think the presence is a calming thing if it's you have that presence and it's that care, and I think that you want to feel that care, like because it's going to give you that little bit extra of like, okay, like there's a safety feeling in it, and it's like you're not, because there's probably some lizard brain shit in your mind going on that's like you could die. You know, you're telling you this thing, and it's like I need that. Like I've never been like that sick, but I'm sure it can feel like that. Because I mean, people die all the time from crazy shit, sickness, wise. So like
the feeling of driving to Walgreens alone when you have 101 fever, getting like meds, and like having such head fatigue that you think like I might not be safe to drive right now. That feeling is like.
Can't get worse.
Yeah,
it's only up from
like,
here.
All right, well, but then also the thing of like I trust in my immune system; it will pass.
My immune system, like I'm grateful, like to have a great immune system.
And
like,
I'm similar. I don't get sick very often. Like not usually.
I know people that get sick sometimes, like all the fucking. I'm like, bro. But I'm like, I've never believed in any of the fuck. I remember when I was like just graduated high school, 18 years old. My friend was getting he got the flu shot that year. And then like 3 months later, he gets the flu. And I just remember always thinking like, that was the fucking weird.
That's the flu shot.
Exactly. Same.
Stupid.
Same.
When you were drinking, did you get sick more often?
I definitely felt shitty more often. Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I think I drank, like I think I got to that point where it was so regular to feel dysregular that I forgot what it was to feel not that. And so it's funny because I think people like I see it because I used to do this, but like go on like a bender for like 3 to 4 days, a weekend or whatever, spills into Monday maybe, but then you're like fuck, and you just take this whole like next few days where you're like, I can't drink, and it's like you don't want to drink your body, and then you get to that point, and the part where people start drinking again is the first part where your body's finally getting regular to be feeling good again, and then you're gonna go right back to punishing it. And it was like, that's so I would definitely say in the anxiety, the anxiety was so bad, like just
anxiety and self-worth.
And I was not a good
real
dude
victim to that.
Like I'm not saying I did anything crazy egregious, but I just was I was so much more cavalier about the way I interacted and how my words might impact other people. I had way less give a shit about, and it's like it matters to be like I still think like what you said a minute ago, it's like it matters to try to fight the good fight, and like even if you encounter people that are dark, and it's like good for you to keep that, because that's important to keep, and it gets harder as you get older, for sure, because you see more and more fucked up shit, and so you're just at a certain point you can calcify on this certain way of being, where I always will try to stay open to those energies around that are bright and open to, and like to attract, and I think that just naturally happens too, just in the course of. Yeah.
How long have you been sober?
It was 4 years in May.
Wow.
So I'm like 4 years and change. Yeah. So this is like my fourth or fifth birthday, not drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I still have fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a Puritan.
Yeah.
K-holes.
That's the big block for a lot of people who are trying to get sober, but they have that thing of like, if I get sober, that means the party's over, and like I never have fun again. But there's a
lot of FOMO.
There's
going
the FOMO,
on,
and then too that adds into like the convincing, like that's just your addict mind tricking you into keeping with the substance.
Yeah. Well, and the reward system is all fucked up. At that point, so you're like, the problem is like alcohol creates problems in people's lives, and that they try to use alcohol to be avoidant. And it's like, I love that the last 4 years of my life have been spent building relationships like with like that are on a foundation of like presence and intention versus avoidance and escapism type behavior. And like I've had like certain people fall off. It's like, that was another thing of like, the one thing as I've gotten older, I used to like maybe hurt my feelings when somebody, but it's like actually the real, it's like sometimes in life, you should appreciate that the trash does you the favor of taking itself out. So just let it.
So did you kind of find your life like reconstructing after you stopped drinking?
It took me like I didn't even like date at all, and I hardly date even nowadays. But like,
it's a shit show out there. So
it's and it's like
jungle out there.
It really is, and it's like so it did though because it's like, and what's crazy is I thought it would help me in dating because I thought a woman would appreciate a man who's going to be showing up, present, intention, like being the guy that you would think that a person would want.
No, women hate that.
It was like we live in the land of the situationship, so that's it's like it's trying things on, and then you know what? Actually, I like that one. Let me go try that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so triggered right now.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's why I don't really date so much anymore these days. But it's like, it definitely like it. You want to hear a crazy dating thing?
Yes.
I met a girl on a dating app. We went on a date, and I told her I didn't drink, and she like tried to like get me to drink multiple times, like, and then at the end of the night, and I explained to her, I was like, look, you don't want me to do that. You like I'm a much better person, and it's like she was drinking, but she couldn't handle, I guess, that. And then we came back to my place, and we're hanging out, and we were kissing, and she had some wine that she brought and stuff, and we're hanging, and then I go to kiss her, and she fucking spits wine in my mouth. Yeah, I was like, yo, and then took zero accountability about the fucking thing she just did.
What is wrong with this city?
Like, it's so ridiculous. Yeah, I was like, this is stupid as fuck.
Dude, when you first told me that, it was like there was a pit of disgust in my stomach. Because like we talked about, it's not like, you're getting hammered after, getting spit wine
This
in
was
your
after
mouth.
I already made it very clear that I don't drink.
Okay, can I just... Okay. You know how we're all about no means no, consent, boundaries, but only for guys. Why don't women have any accountability? Because I have a lot of guy friends working in music.
Yeah.
I have heard some wild stories where they'll tell me something like, yeah, this one time she grabbed my dick, and I was like, so that's assault. You got assaulted, buddy. And they're like, no, it's fine. And I was like, did you feel assaulted? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, and they were like, well, what am I going to do? Tell somebody about it?
Yeah.
Like, that's insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to fix the problem, but like that's gross to me that women think that's okay.
You're fixing it just by what you're saying right now is helping fix it because I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that.
I know how happy you got when you heard her say accountability. Yeah.
I don't hear women say that word.
Yeah, about calling that shit out. Yeah.
I literally have a joke about it because I'm like, male privilege is a myth.
Truly. Yeah.
Like female accountability. That's the joke because
it is
amongst men. It's a running. I don't have to know the dude for that joke to be funny.
Yeah.
Because all men get it, and I think that it takes a truly special woman to take accountability where she could otherwise maybe not, like get away with things, but hold herself to the standard of I'm better than that. Like, because that's the differentiator of like character is character. It doesn't matter what's between your legs. People that have character have it. And those that don't. And I try to fuck with those people. Like, I consider you a high character individual, Kai. I appreciate you. It's like
that a lot. Y'all are high character individuals as well.
But that's like, to me, important because I've been around like questionable types too, where you're like, and then stuff happens and you're like,
Yeah, well, we sort of constructed this society where like women can get away with a lot of things, and so they do. Just like previously, we had constructed a society where men could get away with things, and so they did. But the pendulum just swung super far in the other direction that I don't know. And again, like I have so many male friends, so that's probably why I care so deeply about it, because I care about them. But I hear these stories of the women that they've been around or gone on dates with, and then they're like, oh, women in this city are just trash, and I give up. And I'm like, what is going on? Who are these girls? Like, do I need to cut a bitch? I don't know what.
I mean,
who's raising these people? Is my question.
Sometimes I don't think anybody, maybe.
TikTok?
My ex, you want to hear some fucked up shit? My ex, I'm not naming names, but those who know, is currently with my former best friend in a relationship. I think engaged, actually. So that one, but here's the other thing. I think what women don't get for us as dudes is like, it's very like understood. I think men, as far as women goes, that y'all need to feel safe. At least men that are even like semi-aware of
Yeah.
like the reality of the world they're in, understand how important that is for y'all, the safety, like literal physical safety, right? And I think women underestimate just how important it is if you want the best, if like you will see the best in me come out when I feel emotionally safe with you.
Yeah.
And if I feel like that, and like the reason I'm heartbroken about losing a friend far more than the girl.
Yeah.
The girl I never truly loved because I never felt safe enough to, I just, my nervous system knew something wasn't right. So I was trying to be like, same as you, like optimistic, like I'm going to try to give the benefit of the doubt and do my best. But it always felt not safe to really, you know, take
Be
the leap
yourself,
with
yeah.
this person. And so when it happened, it was not surprising. It was like more kind of just like, yeah, seems about right for you and the type. But it was my friend that shocked me. It was the friend is the person that, and apparently he's like stalking me. Like I know people that know. So I'm like, that's
Buddy.
interesting. It's crazy though, because yeah, like as it pertains to dating, like I'm like, I just want to find somebody. Like the last person that I was in love with was during COVID. It's the last time I was in love. So, and it was like
COVID love.
yeah, it was
There's nothing like
unexpected. It was like
Yeah.
I still thought I was in love with the person I was with for 8 years, the one I thought I was going to marry, the ex that was with me when my friend died. That obviously didn't work, but we were together 8 years, and then it was like I met this new person during COVID, or actually just before. That's what really sucked, is that we went on our first like date, like official date, and we were kind of friends first, but then it was like the lockdowns hit, and it was like, and then we ended up basically like sheltering in place with each other, and it's like nobody anticipated that, but then it ended up, I thought I was still in love with this other person. I'm like, I'm in love. I found out, and it was, you know what it was? It was like I loved conversations with her. Her vocabulary turned me on. Like she would
I
say
love
words,
that,
and I would be
yeah.
like, did you just say imbibe?
Imbibe.
What did you? I'm just making shit up. But she was like she got a degree in journalism. She's a writer,
Yeah.
and so as a comedian too. Like I loved that, and at least I got one thing from her before she shattered my heart to a million pieces, which is the magic happens in revision. So, but yeah, like to me though, to find a person like out here in this, it's like needle in a haystack, whatever. If I'm focused on what I'm doing, all the other stuff, I think I'm like, oh, it'll work itself out. Cause I'm like, to me, I just need to be better. And I think with the not drinking thing, if it's like the person if I'm dating somebody and it's like problematic for them, then like, I'm just a clean mirror is all I am for you. Like as far as people I might date that drink, so those that might actually have a real issue with problematic drinking, it's going to be obvious after like a few months. You're not going to be able to.
It's also something where you kind of have to take stock with yourself about like what you want and like could you see yourself in a serious relationship with someone who wasn't sober?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and it's
all of that changes.
It's hard. When does all cheating happen?
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, like that to me is like alcohol just opens doors for all kinds of bad things in relationships. And so for me, the not drinking aspect was like I didn't want to let this thing be a factor in me fucking up at one more thing. So it was like the person that like I stopped when something happened with someone, and she was supposed to be my sister's wedding date and she canceled, and it was that moment where I was like I couldn't be like, this is on her. It was like, all right, this is like no more places to point that finger except one way.
Yeah.
And so, and it was like, and then that was the moment. It was literally the day she told me that she canceled on the wedding, that I was like, that's it. That's the last fucking thing you get. I was like, and it was very defiant is the feeling. It was a defiance. And then, yeah, so I thought again, why I was like, oh, it'll help me in dating.
It's so interesting that you've found the opposite to be true. Actually,
well, it's like alcohol society,
you know what? No, I believe you, because a couple years ago, I decided to stop drinking just kind of indefinitely. I was like, I'm just going to not do this anymore. I think for my health and for my focus and stuff. And so I quit drinking. It ended up being around 3 months long.
That's good.
And
Feel some real like.
well, the only reason, bro, get this. the only reason it wasn't longer, well, actually, I'll get to that. Basically, I stopped drinking, right? So then I was still going on dates. I was single. Apparently, nobody in this gosh darn town knows how to take a girl on a date unless we're drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
And so it was just.
Well, it's such an easy
didn't know
thing
what to do.
to want to go grab drinks. It's like I don't have
Yeah.
that now, or I could, but I'm not actually drinking. Like, so for me, it's like, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
also forced me to like find new things to like now, like I took a girl to like the LBJ library when they had
Mm-hmm.
this really cool music exhibit that had like Jim Morrison's fucking journal. So I'm like looking at his fucking page, had Jimmy's guitar. It was the coolest thing. I took her on a date. Only date we went on. I'm like, I put together these cool things, not appreciated. So
Maybe she
that's
did
what guys.
appreciate
That's
it.
where guys go to
Maybe
like.
she didn't appreciate it.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't. But it's like, you know,
shame.
for me, because the person I was with that I thought I was like gonna marry, 8-year relationship, that ended 8 years ago now, a little over. So I've had this whole other 8 years, 7.5 years in Austin where it's like I haven't had a single relationship that lasted longer than a year. And it's like,
Do
I
you-
just stopped caring enough to like even really date actively at
Yeah.
a point. This is where I'm at.
Before I forget, this is
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
kind of funny. So you had the wine mouth spitting story.
Yeah.
I have something it's not as gross, but
Yes.
I was gonna keep being sober just until I felt like it was time, or maybe never. I don't know. Maybe I was just gonna be sober forever.
Yeah.
And I get in a relationship with this guy, and he was, you know, the thing I've always fallen for in the past, which is, you know, charismatic musician, and
We are a special breed.
yeah. And so, anyways, we're, you know, maybe a month in or whatever, and we're going to Houston to meet his family, for me to meet his family. And we get into a 3-truck fender bender on the way up there. It wasn't our fault, but it was, you know, stressful, and you get some whiplash and whatnot. And so afterwards, you know, he was like, "Oh, I'm
Getting
gonna
action
get it
from the front and
He's
back
like-
on that one.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
No, but
Sounds like it.
he was like, after this, I'm getting a margarita. And I was like, okay, you know, so we go. And he, like, over the last few weeks had been basically, like, asking me questions about my sobriety. So he was like, why exactly are you sober? And I was like, I told you, just because I wanted to just
When you had
stop
met him
drinking.
initially, had you
Yeah.
already stopped?
Yeah, I had already stopped.
Okay.
And he's like, but like, what happens to you when you drink? And I was like, I get tipsy like a normal person. Like, what do you mean? And he was like trying to dig for like, am I an alcoholic? And that's why I stopped drinking, which is totally fair. But then it got to the point where he told me, essentially, in so many words, that he would not trust me unless he saw me drunk first.
fuck
Which,
that
how
shit.
ironic is that? He's worried that I'm an alcoholic, but he needs to get me drunk
Done.
to see. So
Anybody
he got me
said
drunk.
That to me, I'm like, I don't
so-
even on a friendship level go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Dude, it was so weird.
Yeah.
And so I gave into the peer pressure that day, and we got wasted.
I'm
And
sorry
afterwards,
that
he
happened
acted
to
like
you.
now all of a sudden he, you know,
I'm sorry.
now he.
that happened.
But then
That
he
sucks.
started monitoring that, and then he was like, "Oh, you drink?" I'm like, "What do you want from me? You don't want me to drink. You do want me to drink." It was so weird. That was literally the mildest of the problems in that relationship.
Yeah.
But my point is you're right. It's, you would think that doing something really good and healthy for yourself would be an attractive trait, but it's with like a lot of changes I've made in my life. I mean, being a Christian makes dating really hard, really, really hard sometimes, because people are like super not into that. I found in this city.
I got a great joke on that, but I don't want to.
I don't.
Well, a lot of people too,
Right.
with like the whole getting you drunk thing. Like a lot of people have this misnomer that you know, once you're fucked up or something, like that's who you truly are. You reveal the true colors. But
Yeah.
in my experience, that's been like the furthest thing from the truth. Like just how you present yourself. That's
Yeah.
who you are. It's not who you are when you're sloshed. It's
Yeah.
just completely off.
Yeah, that's the worst version of you. You can't judge somebody based off of that. Like it's so
Yeah,
strange.
no, it's to me, it's like the same thing to me applies with Christianity or drinking, both. Like I don't mind whatever. If somebody drinks, that's cool. it's cool until it's not cool, if that makes sense.
Totally.
So it's like until I tell you that my like a band that like I haven't that's reuniting for the first time in 10 years that is like my high school friends that they've been in bands that from forever and they're playing in Austin for the first time in 10 years on this date, and I invite you, and then you can't go because you started day drinking and you were too fucked up, and you
like
knew
a really
these are
specific hypothetical,
like elementary school friends. Yes. I'm not talking about anybody in particular.
Right. Well, you're a really good storyteller then.
Yeah. I'm literally giving a specific example, and then it's like where that now this is a problem because this thing that I'm giving you latitude of like I don't mind you with this, because I think that's where it's like it's unrealistic of me to think I'm gonna be with somebody that doesn't drink at all, possibly, but like to me the alcohol I don't mind, but if it's like that's the thing, it's like annoys me is that it's like when people are like, well, what did you quit because are you alcoholic?
Yeah.
You're like, well, like, and yes, but why can't I just quit because this thing isn't serving me?
Yeah.
Why can't that be the reason? Why does it have to be because all this, like, to me, it just doesn't serve me anymore. And it used to, and I had a lot of fun. And I made a lot of questionable decisions. And that's another thing. Like, I want to be in control of like my faculties. And I'm not saying I don't still take mind altering things sometimes, but in the environments that are controlled and things, and like but generally like the ability to stay in that driver's seat, and it's like anything I've built, this whole thing, I mean, all of it is on the back of the consistency that I'm not hungover, because I wouldn't be posting 3 clips a week every week if I was getting fucked up all the time. So stuff like that where I'm like, but it's like a lifestyle thing, I think, for me, because like I really hate that he did that. I'm sorry, because it makes as a guy who doesn't drink and thinking about being in that situation with somebody, how much I would be trying to water that quality in you in that situation, because I would like want good things for you, because that's the reality. The people that say I don't trust people, you don't want good things for me. You're destroying yourself, and you're trying. Misery loves fucking company.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's the
Misery
bottom
Loves
line.
Company. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not interested in those types of people, because like, crabs in a bucket, like, fuck out of here.
Well, and this is something I've learned over the years. That was a really kind of obvious example, but looking out for that. Do they really want what's best for me, or are they trying to fill something that's missing inside of them? Like, are they supporting my music career because it makes them look cool, that I'm their trophy girlfriend or whatever? But then when the rubber hits the road and they realize it's not glamorous all the time.
You got a kidney infection.
Yeah. Right. Well, like, I wrote my song Make Believe is about this concept of like, you acted like you cared, like you were so proud of me, like you wanted the best for me and you were supportive of my career. And then when life got real, all of a sudden, it wasn't convenient for you anymore. It's hard to know those things up front if somebody's really, but there are little things that I can pick up on now. Like, if there's a moment where the spotlight's on me instead of on them, if they're a musician, for instance, because I've dated a lot of musicians, like, how do they treat me later that night?
Yeah.
How are they speaking to me? Like, and it can be so subtle, but if there's something in them where, they actually aren't okay with whether it's my music or whatever decisions I've made for my life, and they start to be resistant, like, those things are really subtle, but if you start to pick up on them, I'm learning that you can avoid a lot of pitfalls. But that's also, I've been, single for the longest I have in my whole life, is because I finally like got wise to those things. And now all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's nobody left to date.
And it's like, but it's also like, the
That's
idea
not true.
that you have to date, like for me, like, I'm not against the idea. Like, to me, dating is there as a thing that I can do potentially if I feel like it. But I, like, if I'm just living my life the way that, like, I feel very full in the things that I have around me, like my, creative pursuits and, work and all these things. And I feel like a lot of fruit in my life. So like dating to me, it would just be like the whipped cream, like, whatever, the chocolate covered strawberry.
Yeah.
It's like and so I like, it's good to be, and good for you too, because it's good to be in a position where you don't need, like, I'm take it or leave it about this. And I can say that I will often, like, if I'm into somebody, I'm going to make it, like, I'll try to, like,
Prioritize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like at the moment where I feel like, where I see the lack of, I'm going to kind of adjust myself accordingly with how, because I'm not, like, to me, like, one of the hallmarks, at least as my Hinge profile would say, I think, if it still exists. I stopped. It was like a hallmark of a good relationship, selflessness. I think the idea of, like, I think truly like beautiful relationships are probably, there's an element of them being holy, and I don't mean that like necessarily by God, but I mean that the idea of God is the same thing of the holy, which is the idea of the greater thing than self. That you, so to me, a truly like a real true relationship, like, it's bigger than you. And like for me, like, I say this about the people around, I want to speak to your highest self always. Like, that's the person I want to talk to. So, you know, if you're speaking down like to the lower versions of you, like, some people might.
That's who's going to speak back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It took me a long time to get to the place where I could fully internalize that concept of, like, take it or leave it. Like, I'm okay alone. And so that's why I don't need to put up with bad relationships anymore. However, one thing I will say, which is, because a lot of people talk about, like, just love yourself, girl, like, enjoy your single season and you don't need no man and stuff. And I think that, like, it starts from a really good, healthy place, and it can go kind of far to where now people care so little about relationships that, and they care so little about, like, they need people to kind of be perfect in order for them to leave their comfortable little life. And I've been victim to this too. But now it makes dating really hard, because then, like, nobody wants to leave the comfortable little life. They have a good thing going. They don't really need anybody. And I'll just go out and be the one to say it, like, yeah, I can survive alone just fine. But God, I want a family. Like, I still want to get married. I'm not,
Same.
I don't believe that BS where it's like, you'll find the person when you stop looking. I'm like, bummer, because I'm never going to stop looking. I'm never going to give up.
It's a problem
You know
to
what I mean?
solve all the time.
Yeah.
It is. And it's like, I don't think it makes you lesser or weak to, like, to want to need someone to be, like, for me, I feel like that's...
more people should, honestly, because more people would be pairing up if we were just honest about the fact that we do want a companion. Of course we do. We're humans. We all want companions.
Yeah. But it's like, to be with the person that, like, lifts you up, you know, and makes you like a better person for being with them.
Yeah. Don't settle.
That's what I aspire to. And I would, like, I think a truly beautiful relationship, it would be likewise for them. So it's like both sides are better versions of themselves for being together. And it's like, that's something I would definitely aspire to with a relationship.
Yeah.
But also just friendships too. But it's like, and then it's just, as a guy, oh my God, it's like the things that it's like, there's such a convenience culture. And with dating apps, it's like, especially as a woman, that's why I don't like interacting with women on dating apps, because it's so deleveraged. Like, I'm at the biggest disadvantage in that environment because how leverage works. And so most of the relationships like that I've had, like the last person I was in love with, I met these people in real life, you know, like, so it's like, to me, that's where I'm like, yeah, I keep myself where I'm like, I'm open to these possibilities, but I'm not seeking them out. Like, I think when it gets commodified, and then, like, and just the things that I've had where there's this feeling like people, like our grandparents' generation, like when something was broken, you would work on it. You would try to fix it. And I think nowadays when things are, like, feel broken, and I think for a lot of women leaving, not because they're in a bad marriage or relationship, like, men fear that. And it's like, they see that happen where they do everything they should be doing and they're trying to be that man for her, and it's still not good enough. And you're like, that's where men get frightened, because they've seen that like play out, you know? And it's one of those things that, like, again, you have to just keep trying to be that person even though you may get exploited in that, but it's hard after a while.
That's interesting. That's so helpful for me to hear, because from the women's perspective and all the other women I've talked to, we're afraid of men leaving. So, and we think that men give up too easily. I have this narrative in my head that men just leave. This is what I've experienced. Men leave as soon as real life hits, as soon as I have any sort of emotion, as soon as I'm just a real person with no makeup on, they're just bored and they're done with me. And that's my narrative, just like from your side and what you've experienced. Your narrative is women just give up and you're never going to be good enough for them. And it's so tragic that we're both saying the same thing and then broad brushing the other side just because, you know, it's the experiences we've had. And it's a little bit bleak, but I still am a very optimistic person by nature. And I believe that for whatever reason, we had to go through those experiences. And one day we're going to look back and realize, like, oh my gosh, if I hadn't met this person and gone through that breakup and dated them for that long, I wouldn't be the person I am today to be here to love you well.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's also, to me, it's finding, because everything has to like line up in such the way that the number one, the attraction, excuse me, sorry, the attraction, very attractive, has to be there. As a baseline, right? But then to me, that's just one level. That's just level one, right? And it's like on my hierarchy of like the relational thing, it's like, and I used to prioritize it, and it's still important, but you know, like there's so many levels where you, like the first person, I was with that person for 8 years, never quite felt right about what it, like, she was like a smoke show. And like from that standpoint, never was an issue, but it was like, there was just, we weren't on the level somehow. And it's like, and then I met the person that the last person I was in love with, the COVID person. And it was like, when I found out, oh, it can be this, holy shit. Like, I like hanging out with her. And it was like, I want to like talk to her. Like, we're
That's
not
so funny
just,
that was a novel concept too. You're like, I like hanging out with my girlfriend.
Well, but it's like,
crazy.
But
She
it's
talks,
also like,
and I talk back, and then
it's also just meeting the first woman I dated where I'm like, she may be smarter than me. Like, I think, I'm not sure. Cause I'm like, I didn't ever feel that way in the previous relationship.
dating dummies with her.
Well, it's not that she was dumb, but it's like, you know, she's not dumb. But it's like, and also,
Just not the same wavelength.
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Where, and it's like that. So that person though, the one that the minds were there, like when I saw that, and it's like, if you have the physical baseline and then you have that level, I guess I'm a sapiosexual.
Dude, you're like, you're 60 to 70% of the way there.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just like, you know, can be discussed.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And it's like, and then like I think it's like both of you have to have like the same North Star.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, you're oriented towards.
That's super, super important. That's something I went through recently that I learned, which was I was going back and forth on that. Like, can we have different North Stars, basically? Can we have such radically different lenses through which we view the world? And I thought, I've seen people do it before. You know, it could work out. And, you know, I fell flat on my face. But I'm really glad that it happened, and it could have been so much worse. It was like totally sweet and amicable. But like, I'm so glad that I got that experience just as another reminder of like that, at least for me, I won't speak for other people. For me, that's a non-negotiable, like the worldview, because it's like worldview, you know, higher power.
Yeah.
And then it trickles down as like morality and ethics, and politics are like not as big of a deal to me, but you know, depending on your politics can be a big deal.
Right.
And then, you know, like family, how do you want to raise, and all these things, everything trickles down from that.
Yeah.
And that kind of is foundational, is what I'm kind of reminding myself.
I think, 100% value system. I was like raised in church, and like to me, I have like I was like so involved in church when I was growing up, like majorly. Like I helped out in the nursery with the 2 and 3 year olds. Like
Same.
I originally,
Yeah.
I originally just did it to get out of Sunday service because I hated as a like 12, 13-year-old kid sitting in Sunday service. And I can go play with toddlers for an hour and a half. Like, hell yeah, this is fun, you know? Except when they pee on your shoe because you trusted them to aim correctly because you're dumb. You're like, he can't aim yet. He ain't got that skill set yet at the moment. No. But like, and then I went on mission trips to Mexico. And like, that's how I met my best friend, the one that died, was like, we bonded on like 6th grade mission trip to Mexico with a little Mexican boy, Geraldo. And so, swear to God. Yeah. So it's like, I did all that. I was in church band. I played in the youth band, like drums. I played in the orchestral, like symphonic Sunday service, like Passion of the Christ.
Nice.
Did it all. And then I kind of got to the point where it was like, I think there's good things. And I think depending on the church, to me, I'm at that point where it's like, because not all churches are created equal. And like the Catholic part, like I can't, there's certain levels of like with the religious thing where it's like I can get on board with like this is about being like a good person type thing. But I also think there's like a nobility in just doing good for goodness sake without needing to have like something that you're appealing to other than just that it feels good to be that way. Like, you know, versus hurting people, which to me, because I consider myself to be normal, that I don't like feeling that. But also I think alcohol, that's another thing about alcohol. I realized this, like it numbed me to that. So now if I hurt somebody, I can't just hurt somebody. Like I'm going to truly feel what I'm doing, and I can't so it's like, I don't want to do that. Like I don't, that's the.
So for you, was church like more like a set of morals and values? I think it's like I do think there's something that's good about believing in something higher power. Yeah. Like whatever you might call it, because there's like world religions, there's Buddhism, there's really Islam, Christianity, and Judaism all are Abrahamic. So like let's say like 5 billion people on Earth at least probably all believe in basically the same God. You know, they're just all disagreeing on how they get to that final point. So to me, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's the thing that keeps us in a place, because I think that communists want us to like not have families, and they want like people being individualized, and like that's what COVID did. And that's where it's like people get in these little, you know, bubbles, and then that's where they're more easily manipulatable and controllable. And, you know, that's how they can, you know, initiate the fucked up shit that they're building that fucking data center in Utah to do, which is Peter Thiel's fucking coming in his pants wet dream. But I am very glad we found Charlie Kirk's murder weapon on Palantir property, I will say, yet again. So not
Wasn't that great that there was no... It's just the government plotting an assassination. It's you know, it's just textbook stuff.
Just a Tuesday, you know.
This is textbook podcast.
I love
conversation.
I
now.
I tell you, I'm like, people are like, what's your podcast about? I'm like, we get to conspiracies usually at some point.
Yeah. Usually around the hour 20 mark, we get into conspiracy.
Isn't that why any dude starts a podcast?
Usually, yeah.
About conspiracy.
Back when they were doing it correctly.
They still do it. Joe Rogan still does it.
Joe Rogan still does it. You said too. I like Chris Williamson too. He's good.
Yeah,
he's
me
good.
too.
He's got like the double, like he's like a fucking model looking dude, but he's like highly intelligent and like a very great like conversational like question like asker, which I don't.
He's very he's a sponge.
Yeah,
he's
like,
a sponge.
He wants
That's what
knowledge.
makes him intelligent.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing about people that are like, it's like music. Like the best music lesson I ever got, I told this story before on the podcast, but I just told it the other day too. In real life, it was my high school band director, Mr. Deeroff, Mr. D, who you know Jeff Daisy, saxophone player here in Austin. He and I, we had the same band director, but like at different high schools at different times.
Oh, funny.
But we bonded over the fact that band director, things he said, I still like daily, to be early, to be on time,
Sounds like my dad. Disagree.
You like,
But anyways,
if you're on time,
I
you're
was
late.
6 minutes late today.
If you're on time, you're late. No, yeah. That's I've walked in a couple days here. I was early today because we had a meeting, but I've walked in a couple days like on the fucking dot, bro. And I'm like, yeah. But like, yeah, no. But not just that. Like, just different things where you're. And he has like anyway. The lesson was in jazz we would do like theory, and so one day we were doing theory, and he like goes to the board and draws a circle, and he writes music in the middle. And then he like takes the marker and blotches out a little bit of the top, just a little. And he goes, that's how much you know about music. And we're all like, because we're in like high school at this point. So I'm like learning about like Mixolydian mode and Dorian. So you think you know something, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. And then, and then he goes back to the board and he like blotches out a little bit more on the circle, but still like hardly any of it. And he goes, that's what I know about music. And we're like, oh, okay. It's like, that mindset that there's so much always to learn that you don't know, that's the thing that keeps you growing. That's the thing that keeps your mind like sharper, also working out.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And
the more you know, it's Dunning-Kruger. The more, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about faith is
Yeah.
the Dunning-Kruger effect. Is the more I learn about theology and God, the more questions I have.
That's ultimately why I kind of stopped going to church, because they weren't giving me satisfactory answers to the questions. And so I was like, all right.
I think
But
a lot
that's-
of that comes back to like religion versus institutionalized religion, which I think a lot of people would be on board with the former in terms of like having a personal relationship with
religion.
God versus an institution, not meaning community, but specifically in terms, like I think in a general sense, like mega churches, for instance, where there's definitely more of like a capitalistic, motivation to it.
Yeah, there can be,
What were
for
you gonna say?
sure. Yeah, and I've experienced it. I mean, I grew up in the church, so I have
Yeah,
my own
same.
fair of church hurt, and I've even written and made music videos about it. But I think sorry, I was trying to remember what you had said a second
I kind of
ago.
like the women
But
in the Bible. That's a good one.
what were you going to say? I was going to really say something profound, and now it's gone.
Oh, shit, sorry.
That's okay.
My
No,
bad.
you're good.
No,
But about church and stuff.
Just growing up in church and
Yeah.
like where that starts you, and I do think it's a good orientation. Like, and honestly, I don't think a lot of people got what Jesus was talking. I don't think people got it. I think they got it,
Oh.
but they didn't.
I remember what I was going to say now. Because you said that one of the reasons that most people leave the church is the reason I left the church several years ago for a little while was the questions.
Yeah.
You don't have an answer for this. You don't have an answer for this. And I still have those questions. Well, a lot of them have been answered actually. Once I went back and like really jumped in with both feet, I actually got a ton of the questions answered, but a lot of them are still unanswered. Because, I have the rest of my life to kind of answer them, figure them out. But like, I think one of the things I was doing where it ended up being really disappointing for me was that I was looking up to these people, the pastors and priests or whatever, to have the answers. And then they just let me down. And I remember asking about the sovereignty of God to my pastor, like, so there's free will, but then God's in charge of everything, right? He runs the show. And he can make things happen and he can stop things from happening, but we have free will. How does that make sense? And he gave me examples, 2 different Bible stories where Abraham changes God's mind.
Yeah.
And then, obviously other examples where God just like hardened Pharaoh's heart or like made a whale swallow Jonah and put him back on Nineveh. And he's like, tells me these things and I'm like, and waiting for the big, and he's like, and both are true. And I said, why? And he's like, because the Bible says so.
Because they said so.
And
It's redacted.
I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated by it. But like the more that I've grown in that, the more I've realized that, they are both true. I don't have the mind of God. And instead of, I think that if a pastor had explained something like that to me word for word and it had made sense to me, I think it would have been, it should have been suspicious, because really what we're talking about is what I believe a God that is so much bigger and wiser than all of us that like, how could we answer all the questions? Because if we could, then we would be gods.
God is consciousness, and we are all gods experiencing themselves subjectively.
That's another perspective.
Yeah, I like
Is that gonna be on the quiz?
I like
Another
the idea that God is just the idea of like a collective
Infinite
humanity.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, but is God an idea that we like, or is God who he is?
I think putting a name on it, I think it's like trying to name, like the sun is the sun, but what it's like, to me, that's why I think the higher power aspect at play, but like a judgmental, like the best opening to a stand-up special ever in history, Bill Hicks, his one night stand on HBO in like 89 maybe, I think 90, in Chicago. He's like walks out, like stand-up special. And he walks out like, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, vibrations in the mind of the one true God whose name is love. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
That's
what
funny.
did you just say right now? Or you opened a comedy special saying that. That's why
Yeah.
he's my favorite of all time. He's the reason I started doing stand-up. And it's like, but the God, like the idea that like God, the purest God is the higher consciousness of all of us, and like the higher, being that could be, like love. And so
Yeah.
like hatred is,
You know what's funny though? You know how all people want
hatred's actually love misdirected, because the opposite of love is indifference. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
No, that's deep. Love that. But it's funny that you said that, and like everybody's like, God's name is love, right? Love is God. What the thing we
Right.
talk about, I've heard a lot of people say this, and I totally get it.
That's
Like
where the Catholics lose me.
the thing we talk about is as being God is actually love. But do you know what's funny is that the Bible actually says that God is love.
Yeah. Do you ever hear the term God fearing?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that term?
Well, the way that I fear God is it's at the very, very lowest level, it's respect and admiration. At the highest level, it's this is the guy that
So
created everything and can also make everything go away at the snap of his fingers. And
Yeah.
I am but a mere human. But I don't have to fear him in the way that I'm scared of him, because I have been rescued by him. He
Yeah.
loves me. He died for
Yeah.
me. So I don't fear him in that way.
That's what confuses me about that, because it's like I get what you're saying, and it's like that when you said respect, I'm like, respect is good though. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that to me. So it's like it's weird that it gets tied that word, because I feel like that word
God-fearing, yeah.
fearing is just that's like a noble thing, right? It's supposed to be. It's built. It's
But
purported
fear
to be.
inherently, whatever to be afraid of would be like
it's like an
inherently
oxymoron
bad,
to
but
me.
it's not
is
in
what
that
it is.
context.
It
which
feels
is
like
weird.
an oxymoron to me. I think is what it really is.
Yeah, I think God-fearing is an older term where we don't
Yeah.
use fear in that way anymore.
I think the idea of what God fearing would be saying though, in your how would you would say would be like just the respect and the like the aspiration
It's
to
the reverence.
the aspiration to that higher like
Yeah.
being, to your higher self. Like if I speak to your higher self and you like help build you to that self that you would also aspire, and you're speaking to that person too. I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be woo woo.
No, well, I mean, it's hard when it's hard. Sometimes I get lost in the conversation when God is not an entity. When God is like kind of a bunch of different things.
Right.
That's when there's a certain point in the conversation where it gets a little bit harder for me to make sense of it in my brain. But yeah, no, for me, God fearing is, it's more of an old fashioned term, but it's like, well, hell yeah, I do fear him, because he's God, right? He owns everything. And, but I don't have to be scared of him, because it's kind of like having a father who, could like really mess somebody up if he had to,
Yeah.
he will protect his family with a baseball bat if he has to. And
The
and
capacity
there's
for
a fear.
violence.
Yes. And there's a fear because you're a child.
You
he's
just
a
don't
dad.
want a propensity to violence.
Right, but he's powerful.
Right.
And he gets angry and all that stuff. But you don't fear that person like a stranger might fear that
Unless
person,
you're
because
living
he's
not next to the ark when they'll fly.
you don't fear him like the guy on the other side of the baseball bat,
Right.
because he's your dad.
Right.
So that's how I see God fearing.
Yeah.
I think part of that faith comes from that faith that he will be your protector.
Yeah.
And this entity will be there for you and as a support. And although has that capacity, that all-powerful capacity, that's the fearing part. It's that faith that he has
won't
the
direct
wisdom.
it to you.
Yeah, the wisdom to place that power where it is fit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've always had an interesting relationship with religion because my direct parents
Is
were...
Jesus your homie?
Jesus is my homie. Yeah, that one rap song. No, my direct parents were they were like, my dad's Catholic, but he is not a practicing Catholic. He is, he expresses religion in his own way. My grandparents were always very into church. Like both of them worked at the church.
It's funny. Mine were the opposite. My grandparents never went to church, and I grew up in church.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I spent a lot of time with my grandparents
went twice
as a
a year.
kid. Yeah, I went to church a lot on Sundays with my grandparents when I was little. Grew up and I started not going just because I had my own autonomy, but still had that thing in my head of what is it what is my own personal relationship with God at this point?
Your own personal Jesus.
My own personal Jesus, yeah, and how do I envision him?
Depeche Mode.
Yeah. And I liked using comedy as a way to take the
Rage.
levity out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, kind of going back to what we were talking about Abrahamic religions Judaism and Islam.
Yeah.
I had a premise idea for a bit that was God is like an absentee father that has two other families, and Christianity is my family, and each one of us is thinking that we are the favorite son.
That's a funny joke.
Even though we're all the same.
That
father,
actually, yeah. Did you write that down?
I did, yes.
I have a belief that a great idea, if not written down, will come back again.
Mm-hmm.
If not, it's not great.
I believe that too.
Yeah, to me. So
The good ones stick.
Yeah, sticky ideas are I love. That's the band name, Sticky Bars. That would be a great rap group.
Sticky Bars.
Me and Daniel Davis, that guy last week. He's the same as me. We just randomly come up with band names all the time, just
band names and hooks.
Get a notepad of
I used to have that with my friends. It got
It's
out of
just
control.
fun.
They kicked me out of it. Whatever. I dated the drummer. It's a whole thing.
What is that? What is with the drummer? You know what? I don't get it because I'm a drummer, and I don't. You know where I had more women throw themselves at me than anywhere else? Comedy, music, drumming, singing, hosting karaoke. That was it was crazy.
Really?
Yes, it was wild.
That's so funny. Well, I mean, to be fair, everybody's wasted in that room.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, I have the ability to put them up, so they're gonna be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I can sing, which is helpful. But
I think too, to have a more psychology approach to why that happens is as the karaoke MC that's like getting people to come up on stage, you are breaking the ice and giving them confidence to come do it, even if them.
Can I
being
go
wasted.
a level deeper as a woman?
Absolutely, yeah.
You were in a position of authority.
That's what, yeah.
That too, absolutely.
Yeah, and it was
even though it's karaoke guy.
And
but
I went to UTSA, and so this bar was in San Antonio. It was like a UTSA bar that it would Wednesdays I would host it, and it would be packed every fucking week. Mm-hmm. So it was it was definitely that element of. But I'm it's interesting because I've played drums, and it's or singing even just as I sometimes I'm I hear the drummers. It's where are all these women?
do you get more
actually?
attention singing or drumming? Or are you always doing both at the same time?
I mean, lately I'm doing both at the same time. Because that's honestly what I would prefer, but it's hard, for sure.
From your perspective, what instrument gets the most attention from the ladies?
Guitarists. I mean, drummers are ahead of bassists for sure.
Guitarists that sing,
maybe
though.
lead singers can be Robert Plant. Is that he's just the lead singer, but he just oozed the sex appeal,
charisma,
and the charisma of the art. That's what showmanship has been. Is a lost art.
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
I should tell this to Nico Little. I hope he's listening. He's probably not.
Nico.
He needs to get his showmanship up. No, it is though. It is. It's and people that understand the importance of that. I love the James Brown intro, dude, where he's the greatest intro. And it's James Brown, give it off to James Brown. And he's bap, 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 bap. Seth? And he just comes out like and just like does the splits immediately. Sure, he did like a line of coke right before he came on stage.
Oh, he was skiing for sure.
He's on them slopes.
That's so funny.
Yeah. No, but I mean, just that element of that, I'm like, it feels like it's missing in a lot of people, or like with a lot of the artists out here.
I mentioned on the podcast, but one of my favorite like live bands, like that just does a good live show, is Slipknot. Like metal band, they know how to perform.
Yeah.
Outside just the music. Are you familiar with them at all? In terms
I've heard
of like what their look is.
I felt the air rise up in me.
They'll go on stage with like they're all wearing masks and like they have a very clear and like consistent theme as to like their aesthetic. They've got guys on stage like banging like beer kegs. Like it's a huge, like it's a huge like metal.
It's like 9
vibe.
pieces.
Yeah, I'm more of like a Michael Bublé kind of gal.
Yes. Yeah. But a band that I use that as an example of a band that just knows how to entertain a crowd.
Yeah.
You know, and that showmanship side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a big thing here. It's more of the.
And I'm not talking like fucking Broadway show tune shit. I'm
Yeah,
just
but-
meaning like presence and like,
Who's
intention.
somebody in town, like a lead singer / guitar player that you think has really good
Can I answer this for you?
showmanship?
showmanship. Go ahead. What?
Tomar.
Oh, Tomar.
Oh,
yeah.
I've
Tomar,
never
but
seen
he's not a
them,
guitar
actually.
player.
No, I meant
yeah.
that's just showmanship.
But
Yeah.
showmanship, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sweatiest shirt in Austin post gig goes to Tomar Williams.
Yeah.
We should come up with stupid ass awards. Like, write that down. We need to come up with the Cody Kai Cast, and it'd be like sweatiest post shirt gig,
that.
post gig.
Okay, what
My man
about
brought an extra one though, but guitar player. I hate that I can't really say there's a person that I'm thinking of, and he's just so fucking talented and also questionable character human being, and I hate it because I'm not gonna say his name, but he's one. But
a guitar player and a singer?
guitar player. Well, not really a singer, mostly guitar player. And
No,
our
like,
so
you can
okay
tell me
so
after.
the,
I don't know who this
yeah.
is.
So the distinction though would be also are we talking about showmanship as like a component like because it's like is this like the most skilled player or just like showmanship, because those I feel like they could be two different things.
Who just commands a stage, men or women?
I mean, Matt Muelling does a pretty good job. And Matt is so great because he's insanely talented, but he just knows where to he knows how to not step on toes and still be fucking dope as fuck. And you know that. You see him. I would say that I'm trying to think of, I love Nick Diaz. He's great from Buenos Dias. He's got a lot of energy. And when I think and Nico Little too, I was like saying that. It's
No, he
funny
does
because I
have
was
good
talking
stage
to
presence.
somebody though. But she's like, she said something interesting to me that she's like a super fan. She's in love with him. And she's like, he used to have like be a lot more, like she was like reminiscing about when he was more. And I'm like, that's interesting. Cause his voice is awesome. But like, I do feel like, creating that vibe with, and Reese, his guitar player, Reese, he's 18.
No,
The
I don't
kid
think
is
I've
like,
met him.
he is.
That's great.
He's one of these, like, everybody seems to just, he gets his number called, like Gary, Marcus King. I mean, these guys all pulled him up on stage. Stevie.
I was talking to him
Jimmy
the other
Vaughn.
Yeah, I was talking to him the other day, and like he was like, "Yeah, I was just talking to Bonamassa, just
Wait,
chatting him up, like
who
ridiculous."
is this
yeah.
child?
Pull up Reese.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him up.
Instagram. He was on the podcast. We had him on.
How does he know all these people?
You know how some people have the juice and you can't really explain what it is about it, but like you sense it. This is him. I mean, I'm just like, he's only 18. When he was on the podcast, he was 17.
He plays with Nico?
Yeah, he plays with Nico.
What?
He just got his guitar back too after it was stolen.
Yeah, that was today.
So this is him on stage.
But-
it might not have audio because I wasn't able to hook that up.
What the hell?
But
There you go.
that's him.
How did he?
Like unmuted on the bottom right.
Well, I don't think it's connected to the.
Oh, is it
Oh,
not?
shoot.
Oh,
I'll
we
have
don't
to
have
look at it
audio.
later.
What?
Yeah, just
Damn
we were
it.
in a little bit of a rush getting started today. But
Oh.
yeah,
He's
What Wow.
As you can tell, he's a lot of people are making the Stevie comparisons with him.
Wow.
But like he's only
he's got the hat.
He's 18. He just turned 18. And it's like this kid is the oldest soul motherfucker I've ever met. I mean, I swear to you, he talks like a 55-year-old. Like he's just talking like deep conversation, like Kai, like he comes in a Guitar Center sometimes, but like brings like the dope amp.
He,
like
from this person actually, he got this crazy Fender amp that had been modded. In fact, actually, the guitar
this
is
is not
in that
normal
video,
18-year-old behavior.
Like insane. And his mom, by the way, goes everywhere with him and is like on board for the ride. Super freaking cool. And she knows what she's talking about too. She's not just like, oh yeah, he likes his guitars. You know, like
he's from Britain.
Big props to his mom for sure.
Yeah, homeboy
That's
from
so
Cool in the Gang was there. I saw him at their show. I think he's in the Cool in the Gang, keyboard player. But just doting on him. It's just everybody, and I find him to be like a cool. He's like. I'm telling you, I think I'm more immature than he is. Like I think he's more mature than me, to be honest.
Like when the other week we went to go see him at C-Boys with Nico because they're playing every Monday through the summer now. Not today, unfortunately. But like during the little intermission that they had, literally like he's such a gearhead that he and I were just like on stage. He was showing me all of his pedals and stuff, and like his guitar and his rig, and like, oh, I have it set to here. And
like, his tone is great. It's so good.
And dude, he
Willow Engage too. He's another one.
Yeah, he's definitely another one.
I don't think I know.
He plays with Mike and the Burnalls Sundays at C-Boys. He's Will's next level, and he sings too. And it's like, I think there's a couple of cats I heard that definitely not a guitar player, but James Spear is another one. He understands it. He gets it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to have him on.
No, he's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite guitar player. I could argue that he has amazing stage presence, but it's how do I describe it? He's like he has an orbit that he draws you into rather than going out and like showing off, here I am. It's more like you lean in. He just has this like magnetism when he plays. And you've already had him on, Dave Scher.
Dave Scher.
Yeah.
My favorite guitar player in Austin.
Dave Scher.
Love that guy.
That reel is still going. It's crazy. Eric Johnson's pedal board. Yeah. No, he's great. I actually I just sent out I need a guitarist on Saturday, and I sent out a bunch of texts to a bunch of guitar players. He was one of the ones that actually fucking replied. Thanks, Dave. Even though you can't make the gig, I appreciate the professionalism.
No,
you know, like
I had him on a gig recently, and I geeked out because I've been a fan of his since I moved here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, Dave Scher's gonna be on our gig. I was so excited. He's incredible.
You know what I loved is that he, I guess, had seen some of our clips and stuff, and so I didn't really know him, but like the way he was like, it's really cool. This has given me the opportunity to like get to know people, but also like build like these cool. Like people see what I'm doing, and so like I had seen Dave, and it was like he's such a cool dude, like a humble, like as talented and like as much like as accomplished as he is. It's like he's remained a like very approachable person, and like
oh my god, he's
and
just
sees
a
what
big
we were doing
goofball.
and like recognizes it and shows that love back, and it's like it's to get the respect of people that you have respect for is like the ultimate gratification, I think, as like an artist.
Oh my gosh. That's really it. I used to think that it was like, thousands of adoring fans and whatever. No, when I felt like I'd made it was when I realized that the people that I admired in this town admired me back. And that blew me away the first time I like felt that. And I was like, what? You respect me? And I was out with a friend a few weeks ago, and we were I think we had gone to C-Boys actually, and it was the night where I just ran into everybody I
Might
knew.
have been the night I
and
saw
then
you.
I think it was the week before.
Oh, okay.
And then there were people there that I didn't necessarily know, but they knew me, and people were coming up and approaching me, and I was catching up with some folks, and like these people that like I mean like Matt Muelling, I'm just like, oh, you're so amazing, and we're having this conversation, and afterwards we're walking to our cars, and my friend's like, wow, you're really respected in this town. And I was like, oh, it was like somebody had to say it out loud to me to be like,
Yeah.
wow, that's so That's so cool. That's such a good feeling. Even though, I haven't made it to the massive stages or like made a ton of money or whatever, it's like, it's really nice to just, because really why I'm in this is to play music, but also to get better at music. And so when somebody who I admire who's so good at music thinks that I'm good at music, it's like, whoa, it's so validating.
Yeah. Matt is honestly, I mean, obviously he's my favorite guitar player in Austin, but he's also in the running for my favorite human in Austin.
He's great.
Because I just he's so. I remember when I sang with them, the homies, on a Thursday, and afterwards, like on the outside or whatever, it was like everybody's kind of leaving. I was like, "Yo, see you later, brother." I was like, and I tried to make it a point to like let people I appreciate know that I be intentional about saying that to them so they hear it.
You should.
Yeah. And so I had said that, and I was something like, I was like, so good. I was like, it's always an honor to play with, or always an honor getting to share a stage with you, brother. And he's like, it's same, like likewise. He's like showing that love back. And it's like the fact that I could go up there and sing. And I just had this conversation. This is what I was saying about, and then I had a conversation about someone, I'll tell you later. But it's like, to me, like he is just the humility of being as successful as he is, and like just still being like a person that like has good character. Like he, Trey had a stroke, and like he was the one that took him to the hospital back like a month and a half ago. Homeboy's back next week. I'm like, bruh. Yeah.
But you know what's so beautiful about this? That's Austin, though.
Yeah.
Like, we build each other up. I had this new friend who just moved here from Nashville, and she's amazing and talented, and I think she's going to do really well in this town because she has the right attitude.
Yeah.
And one of the things she was saying about Nashville was like, I was there for 9 years. It was good, but like it's very cutthroat and bitey and very competitive. Where it's like Austin is competitive talent wise, but she's just been blown away by how people have been so nice to her, and they're like giving stage time to her and inviting her out to things, and she's all like suspicious. She's like, what do they want from me? I'm like, they want to be your friend, girl.
Yeah.
She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I was surprised too when I moved here. That's what we do here. And we lift each other up, and we go out of our way to encourage each other.
And also I think that there's an emphasis on self-awareness. Because, at a certain point, like this is why I like to be at places like Steve Boys on Tuesday or The Spot on Thursday. Because I get to be in a room where I'm constantly being reminded of where the bar is. And also to be part of that. That's what I was going to say with Matt. I told him, like, there's a reason I've never asked to sit in on Kit. I sing there all the time because I'm very, my voice is, there's no question. But, from a drumming standpoint, I can hang in there, but like, I don't want to just hang. I want to get in there and chop. And so I'm like, if I'm going to do that, I need to be
prepared.
not.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the reverence I have for what they do. And it's like I do think that like, that's good on him, because the person he was talking about that he gave a lesson to, Matt was telling me about, a guitar player, and was like, kind of just basically like telling him what like it is, like not sugarcoating it. So there's like, it's like you get to be around people. And I think that's what somebody that truly cares does do. I think they tell you, they're realistic with you, versus, kind of like, oh yeah, huh? Like trying to like, because to me it's like know where you're at and be always seeking to like continue. Yeah, exactly. But and there's chances given, and it just annoys me when people, because I've seen people sit in it on a Thursday before where I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding? And I'm like, you look dumb.
You
like,
gotta be self-aware.
Yeah, like you just look stupid. Like and take your L also and learn. Yeah.
There's
and
also
get better.
that feeling from the audience of like someone who goes on stage and that can't hang, of like you kind of skip the line in a way, because that there are so many other players that would do so well in that spot, but it's like you just kind of went right up there without really taking self-inventory.
Well, I've never been up to sing with the homies, because I will go there and I will sit and I'll make eye contact with Matt or Justin or whoever's on Kit, and I'm not gonna go up unless they call me, frankly. And I've seen people go up there and push their way through, and
They
just
haven't
like,
called
I
you?
really don't know. No, every time I see Matt, he talks about it, and then I don't, for whatever reason, when I show up, they already have too many people. So
Well,
it just hasn't
Thursday,
happened yet.
if you want, You won't have to say anything else. But if you show up,
You gonna be there on Thursday? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, remind me about
because,
that,
Yeah,
'cause I'm-
absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, as long as it's like something semi-standard, they should
Yeah.
be able to do it, you know?
Oh yeah. I
Because
can-
it's like, what's happening over there? I don't think people, I've taken people
magical.
over there that don't appreciate it. And I'm like, you're not my
it's so
people.
magical. It's so magical.
It is.
It's just, like it makes me close my eyes and just like it's so good. They're
That's
so good.
that's my church.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's my Sunday service on Thursday. Because I can go and I can have the worst day. I can be having a terrible whatever. And for that moment, they'd let me get to like, I get to not be here because I'm the whatever ride they're taking me on, usually to Mars or somewhere in the vicinity.
Seriously.
You know,
When I was not drinking, I would go to homies to feel drunk. No, straight up.
Yeah.
Because there's something about that music that takes me to another stratosphere.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
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 And Groove Line Horns is like a
Mm-hmm.
similar thing. And yeah, there's just sometimes there's music that just, every time I listen to Dave Scher, I cry. Like I told him that once and he laughed. I was like, no, I'm serious. Like every single time.
Yeah.
Like, because there's something about his playing and his singing and his writing that just brings me out of this world.
Yeah.
And I mean, God, if I could do that one time, just have one moment where I could provide that for somebody, like, that's it. I'm
Yeah.
done, you know?
Well, and I think it's probably starts in feeling it in yourself as you do that. Because
Yeah.
it's like, I think, one question I didn't think to ask Dave when he was on, and I was like, fuck, was to ask him about when he plays with Eric Johnson. And like, if he ever finds himself just fanning out on stage next to Eric Johnson, like if you ever, you know, because it's like, to me, the feeling of, that you're trying to create, like if you're feeling it within yourself, if you're like giving yourself the goosebumps through that channel of whatever, because it's like that pure open emotional channel, and then you get there and you're like, then the feeling will be resonant, and I think that's what, and it's like, for like Thursdays as an example, it's like it's being done at such a fucking high level technically that like there's just levels upon levels of shit happening right now that most people, like I still don't even understand, like, you know, to the degrees of, especially like when Matt will talk to me about guitar, sometimes I'm like, bro, I am trying to keep up with you because you are going like to the levels where I'm like, fuck. Like, so like, again, the music lesson, you know, this is what, because there's so much of it, but it's like, that's where you get on a Thursday where you get to that. And you're right. I think it's a big thing for me because I'm like, not drinking. I've had a lot of trouble going to comedy clubs since I stopped drinking. Because it's hard to not drink in a comedy club. It's
What
a
about
lot
when you're
easier to not
performing?
drink in a music venue for me.
What about when you're performing? Was that hard for you?
Whenever it was like where it would be the thing that took the edge off enough to get up and try something new or whatever. But then it could cross the threshold into the, like, this is disruptive to the thing I'm trying to do. So, but it's also just, like, I don't know, I'm cynical as fuck about comedy because I just don't necessarily like what Austin comedy, like what people think of when they think Austin comedy now. Because it wasn't always like that. Like I started here, my first open mic at Cap City was like 2010. Like, so I started doing stand-up here like from the beginning, and it was a totally different scene. And now it's very, in some ways it's improved, but like there's a lot, there was a charm that it had. And it's like, so going out now in these comedy venues, I'm like, I feel disconnected. And I think the thing that gave me the ability to sit there and deal with the fucking bullshit that is stand-up was drinking, because it can be bad. Like, it's just like, it's not good. And it's like, if I could just go to the show and show up and do my spot, then fuck yeah, that's cool. But like, as far as like hanging out, and a lot of comedians are fucking douchebags, honestly. And it's not funny douchebag. Like, it's not like Ryan Reynolds asshole, like likable kind of asshole vibe.
Yeah.
It's just more like asshole.
Yeah.
And because they're cynical, and a lot of it probably is the drinking. So I don't know. It's the music venues though. I have the music, and it's like, that's the thing I have. So yeah, it's weird. It's been weird.
I think if you're in something for long enough, you can get pretty cynical about it. I find myself I've had to battle a lot of that in music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in a good place now, but like there's a man.
It's like the inner nihilist, that we all probably have. It's that there's always you quiet it and you go, shut up. But it's like I feel like it's always there where it's like the nothing matters. It's all for nothing. That just where you have to, again, like choose to care, because not giving a shit is easy. Caring is hard.
Yeah. And I also think that sometimes that voice can lead us to a constructive place where we question, what is this all for? I had to do that after I broke my leg. I had a lot of those questions. What am I doing with my life? Had to go through this, not necessarily alone because I had community, but I was like, still not married, still don't have kids, still haven't made it to the big stages like I promised myself I would when I was 16 and all these things. And then where that led me was obviously a lot of crying, a lot of like deconstructing everything I believed and then reconstructing it into something that felt a lot more, that had more meat on it. So like now, the question.
Are you still obsessed? Are you still as obsessed as you were?
With music?
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm not obsessed with the other BS because that stuff, it's a mirage. I got obsessed with the popularity
the craft part.
And the adoration and like feeling good enough. And then when I realized who I really was and how truly loved I was, that I was already good enough intrinsically, then the rest of that didn't really matter. I still love playing shows and I love hearing the applause. That means everybody had a good time. But like now I get on stage and I sing my songs because I hope that somebody gets something out of it. And also singing is just really soothing for me. And I really enjoy it. It's so fun. It's my adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
But all that to say is like that nihilism or whatever you want to call it sometimes can lead you to a really constructive place because it can make you reevaluate everything, like tear down the house of cards and build it back up with brick and mortar and see how long that stands. You know?
No, yeah. And I mean, it's, I would call it like radical, like self, reflection or, just like the ability to like really just come in and be honest with yourself. I think. About like your own.
Everybody's got to do it at one point or another. And like, you reach a certain age and I think when I hit 32,
priorities change.
When I hit 30, I was like,
it's over.
It was like, this is over, or like, what a loser, you're
it
still
sucks for women
pursuing.
too. Y'all are in a little bit different, like societally like imposed,
but I know men that struggle with the same thing that are in their 30s that are going, well, what am I doing with my life? Still pursuing this stupid music theme. This is child's play and whatnot. And I'm not making as much money as I want to. And there's all this pressure. And like, honestly, dude, I let go of all of that because I have a roof over my head. I have my family. I have people that love me, and I get to play music. And whether that's playing music for some crappy like corporate gig where literally nobody's paying attention, I can't even hear myself, but I'm getting paid so that I can buy groceries this month, or it's playing the Long Center and in front of 2,000 people and having them all cheer and I'm singing my own original music. Both of them bring me so much fulfillment, and I'm so grateful for both of those things because it's the way I provide for myself, and it's also my creative outlet. And it's the way, it's like I feel my most self when I'm singing. And so I just had to shift my perspective. Like I didn't lower my standards for what I want. I still want the big stages and all that. And I want to reach a lot of people. You raised
your standards for yourself.
I did, in a different way. And it was unprecedented because nobody could have taught me this. I had to, like Chris Williamson calls it unteachable lessons. It's one of those things I had to go through the hard way. For me, it was a lot of pain last year that led me to that place. And it led to a lot of nihilism and a lot of like depression and what am I doing here? And then the sun breaks through the clouds and you start to go up and you're like, wait a second, I've got this all wrong.
And if I'm honest, seeing that from outside was one of the things that interested me the most about asking you to come sit down with me today. Because it's like just knowing, like, to see you here now, it's like, and no, there's that. It's seasons. It's seasons, you know, because it's like, and just embrace the season you're in, whatever that season is, embrace it, because it's not always going to be that. So if you're in a great season, and that's why don't aspire to happiness, just aspire to recognize it while you have it, enjoy it, and recognize that it comes and goes, and that's just what life is.
Oh, dude,
it's
I
not
couldn't agree
always
more.
happy.
Yeah.
So don't get obsessed with chasing a thing there's no end state happiness that you get to. You don't get to the happiness destination and then now you've arrived at happiness. That's not how happiness works.
No, you're right. It's
People-
by definition, it's
Yeah.
it's fleeting, and I think that was so beautifully said. Just enjoy it while it's
Yeah.
here.
Aspire to be present enough
Yeah.
to recognize it when you have it and go, fuck, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm so great. And then I think that really goes to the thing that I think it all starts with, which is if you lead with gratitude.
Yeah.
And I think like that's one of the things with religion, but not necessarily gratitude to like just gratitude of anything around you. Like if you mindset of gratitude, then positive things happen. It's kind of like a cascade effect. I feel like.
And you're able to experience positive things.
Yeah.
As
And genuine
positive.
gratitude, not like
Genuine.
false, like genuine gratitude.
Yeah. And it is a practice.
Yeah.
It's something I
And
do
some
every
days
day.
it's fucking hard because I journal and I
Yeah.
have like, it'll cue me for 3 of them, 3 things I'm grateful for. And some days I have to fucking sit there because I don't want to just write anything, but I'm like, man, some days it's easy. It's like, this is such a thing, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like the days where you have to take the stock and go, okay, yeah, like I still have all these things. So like start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a practice, but once you get into it, it makes it so that even the hard days, like there's always, I mean, there are some days I lay my head on the pillow and I really have to reach, and I'm thankful for the breath in my lungs.
Yeah.
Like when I broke my leg, I couldn't be thankful for my leg.
Indoor plumbing.
Dude,
Hot
indoor
showers.
literally, and it's really
Things
hard.
that kings didn't even enjoy 100 years ago or,
It's
200
hard
years ago.
because we never lived without those
Yeah.
things here in the West. But I'm telling you, like,
But staying there keeps you
Yeah.
grounded, literally.
it's really really hard to do, and that's why like breaking my leg was obviously horrible and painful and super unfair, but also gave me a lot of perspective because, like I said, nothing hurts anymore. I stub my toe and I'm like, pff, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah.
But also even like emotionally, I'm able to handle things better because that did a number on me mentally and emotionally, not
Yeah.
just physically.
Yeah.
And like, I want that perspective for everybody. I don't want everybody to break their leg, but I want there to somehow be a moment in everybody's life where they realize, okay, this is not important. This is. Why don't we go in that direction? And like yesterday, I was just walking around and I was like, this is what I was doing. I procrastinated till like 9:30 to go to the gym, as I often do.
PM.
And so
AM.
PM.
Okay.
PM.
Yeah, that's some repressed.
And so, and I was like getting dressed and I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I go, God, thank you for my legs
yeah.
and that they're both working right now and that I can go to the gym and use them. How
Yeah.
freaking cool is that?
I have the autonomy to go lift heavy weight.
Right.
I have the physical ability to go
Yeah.
like push up like large amounts of weight. It's
And we
like
take
it's a
it for granted.
gift. I'm
Imagine-
lucky
well,
for that.
imagine being,
Why? And I would be not. It's Marcus Aurelius. Like it would like one of the tragedies as a man. You don't like peak. Like go for your peak physical prowess if you can. You know, like where you push your body because like that's truly like an aspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine like, so the guy who took care of me, a friend who took care of me after I broke my leg, he let me live in his house for 5 weeks, like gave up his bed for me, slept on the floor, made sure I was on time with all my medications, cooked me breakfast, took me to doctor's appointment, everything. He has one leg. He did all that on one leg.
Wow. The irony.
I know. But here's
great.
the thing. He understood it. And he was my first call before my mother after I broke my leg.
Almost uniquely positioned
Because-
to understand it.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I know a guy who knows what this feels like.
Yeah.
And so I called him and he insisted that he take care of me. And I was like, I could probably find somebody who like that would be easier for, you know? And he was like, no, this is what I want to do. And this is what he's done for other people too, who've had injuries. That's just what his house is.
Yeah.
And it was so funny to go through that process with him because one, I knew that he understood my pain. And so I didn't have to tell him. I didn't have to, complain
Yeah.
or whatever. He got it.
Yeah.
And also, he didn't let me get away with moping
Yeah.
because he gave me some tough love. One day he was just like, all right, you go make your coffee.
Yeah.
get on your crutches. And I was like, what? And he was like, it's time. I'm not going to help you by bringing you coffee anymore. You got to go do it. And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. If it had been anybody else taking care of me, they probably would have just been too sympathetic.
Yeah.
So it was this perspective that he had already had because he is in pain every single day of his life. He's had like 23 surgeries on that leg and all this stuff, right?
Crazy.
And so like it gave me the perspective that, oh man, my situation is really not that bad because guess what? I get to use my leg at the end of this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I hope that for everybody that something brings them perspective that whatever pain they will experience, because everybody experiences pain in this life because we all experience death of loved ones.
Trauma is part of the life deal.
Yes. And so I hope that whatever trauma you're going through, that you're able, that you let it do its job, which is expand your mind, expand your heart, give you perspective. It will change your life.
Don't let it turn you into a demon.
Yeah.
No, because there's a choice. There is a fork in the road
100%.
when you go through something hard.
Yeah.
And my friend, a different friend told me that. He said, you have a choice right now, this way or this way. I'm going to love you and support you through both of them. But this one is going to change you and make you bitter. This one is going to change you and make you better.
You can be bitter, you can be better. I say that all the fucking time.
And both are going to change you.
Yeah.
It's your choice. And the next day I woke up, I knew exactly what I had to do. It changed everything for me.
Well, because it starts with you, and it's like if you have an internal locus of control in your life, you're going to be good because everything is going to be able to be, kind of like I can deal with this in its due time always, and it's like that's. But it's like, I feel like the gratitude of someone that's been through it, and I was going to say for me, like as it would relate for the relational aspect, it's like the thing that will make me a better partner to whoever I might be with at some point is the fact that I fucked up something good before, and I took my eye off the ball, and that person also fucked it up in their ways as well, So, but and if they haven't learned that, then I feel bad for them. But for me, it's like I understand. So it's like to go through the traumas, let them be the lessons that build you to be a better person. Good timber does not grow with ease.
Yeah.
The stronger wind, the stronger trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. So letting that be the thing that, like, if it's going to fortify anything, it's going to fortify that you have, like, I think for men especially, because you don't hear this, a code, like to have a code. As a man, this is how I operate. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I don't do.
Decide that ahead of time.
Yeah, and it's like with going to the gym too. The easiest way to go to the gym in the morning is to just decide it's happening the night before. There's no negotiation in the morning. It's just I wake up and now I go to the gym. I already made that decision. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think we're over our studio time at this point, by the way. Where are we at on time, Kai?
We're at 2:08.
I was like, we're typically booked on this for 2 hours. I need to talk to Kabaz about that so we can just figure out a way to.
Yeah. I think it's a loose 2 hours.
Yeah,
as
it's
far
like
as I
because
know,
we typically try to keep it around 2 hours, but it's been so good talking to you.
Yeah, it went by fast.
That's the mark of a great episode right there. And I'm grateful because
Call back.
Kai was here couple weeks ago, to have a guest that you're a natural. I think.
Thank you.
It's not surprising though, because
incredibly good pacing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's an important thing in podcasting is rhythm and like building a good rhythm. And I didn't really fully understand or appreciate that until I had someone that was stepping all over everything.
Yeah.
Recently.
Well, this is going to sound kind of nerdy, but I'm just a really big fan of podcasts. And I love listening to people talk, and I've studied it a lot. And I've been on other podcasts too. And like, okay, what works? And also, I've been a really bad friend and an overtalker for most of my life. And I had a couple of friends stand up to me and tell me, hey, you interrupt. You only ever talk about yourself. You never ask questions. You talk too fast. And I was like,
those are some good friends.
This is good advice. Seriously, I keep them around.
Yeah. No, exactly. And don't be afraid of criticism, because people will be, and just focus on having discernment with good and bad versus bad faith criticism. But like you should welcome it, because if somebody's giving you a criticism, and they care about you, then it's because they see you as being able to be better in a way. Like so, like that's a compliment to you as far as like what they see in you.
Yeah.
Because if they don't do that, then it's because they don't see you as being,
I fully agree.
And if they didn't care about you, they would just stop talking to you in the first place.
Yep.
Just do that ignoring of just like, this person's, a pain to deal with. I don't even want to put
but
in
then,
the work to
but
try
then you
and
never
make it better.
grow. You never grow because you're like, oh, these people stopped talking to me. I wonder why. Or like, this guy dumped me out of nowhere. I wonder why. Because you never, you know what I mean? That's why, like, if I like don't want to go out with somebody again or like break up with them, I always say, like, do you want me to tell you why? Because I can, but I don't have to. If you want to know my reasons, I will happily share them lovingly. Yeah. Because I want the best for that person. Because that's what I wish other people would have done to me. Like, tell me why you're leaving. I'm not going to try to change your mind, but like, let me know what it is that where I missed the mark here, you know? And man, the people that have been able to be honest with me, like I have a brutally honest family and I'm really thankful for that because I think I would be like, I would suck without them, honestly. Yeah. Because I just don't have that kind of self-awareness naturally.
Yeah. So it's foundational. Like, that's why I feel like as a dude, I didn't prioritize this as much in the past, but luckily the person I dated for like 8 years, she adored her father. And I'm like, that's important.
So important.
It's important.
Yeah.
Like, to have that because a woman's father is her framework of the male species. Yep. So the lens she's always going to be viewing men through is through that lens, It's probably
so if she hates her dad, right, or has daddy issues or whatever, it's like it doesn't mean necessarily always, but sometimes it's like with men, same thing is like if I sense that a man does not respect his mother, I'm like, I've had to learn that one the hard way. Yeah. And it's consistent every single time where it's like he ends up treating me just like that or worse. Yeah. It's definitely like for me, and my mom and I have had like after my parents got divorced, which was when I was like 25, it's like it chilled the relationship out for a while and it changed things. But it's like, to me, it's like the love and the gratitude of your parent being like a lot of people don't even get that privilege to have a present parent there at all. Yeah. That's true. So for me to not appreciate that while I have it would be assholery of the highest degree. But it's like, she was far from perfect, God knows it. Yeah. But I know she was trying in her way to be. Oh my gosh. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Can we, to, all of the internet, can we forgive our parents? Yeah. Like, can we stop doing this thing where we're cutting our parents off? Okay, if they're horrible, I get it. Okay, you get it passed. Like if you literally got physically abused as a child. But the vast majority of us in this culture, like my older brother, decent, a lot of us had really decent parents. Yeah. Let's forgive our parents. Let's move on. You're an adult. It's like stop holding them to a standard. Especially humans. If you don't have kids. I'm sure the thing that makes people appreciate their parents the most is having kids of their own. But it's like don't miss it while you have it. Yeah. I'm like on that note too. I'm like I'm 40. I'll be 41 in a couple of weeks, and I'm like I gotta get started on that. I'm like even as a dude, you're like you don't want to I don't want to be an old dad. You know, like but the family thing. I'm like I feel like it's we're at a time and place of like we can decide like to be like there's those that will decide to keep like living in a self-destructive mindset or just not like focused on higher things, and it's like my season of like being around and surrounding myself of those that are vibrating. And I think Tesla was like if you think of things in terms of like vibration, frequency and energy, that's the way to like conceive of it, because like the vibrational levels of people around you are always, so people don't get that, but no, I think we have different words for talking about the same thing. Like for me it's spiritual. The realist things are spiritual, the invisible things. And so like people's character, people's spirit, people's soul, it's hard to put your finger on, but you know it when you see it. You feel it more than you even. It's like a felt thing that is like
doesn't have to be spoken necessarily, because it's just
It's the thing that's uniquely human. It's that emotional side and what our emotions tell us, and like those signals.
This person tells my nervous system it can relax. You can't even tell your nervous system that, like,
oh my gosh,
consciously.
Isn't that the best feeling when you're around somebody and you're like 3 hours in and you're like, I'm so flippin' calm right now?
Yeah. Well, and it's like, because that's one of the things for doing this too. It's like creating that environment of people, like you say whatever you want to say. Like, it's always my mindset is like, yeah, that's the way to be. And I mean, have some, words aren't free from consequence, but like, you just be the authentic person. I'm like, it's definitely, you've been honestly like one of the most fun conversations I think I've had with like our guests. Like, honestly, just cause it's like,
in a while at least.
And it could be that I just had a really not great experience, and I don't care if he's listening right now and he hears this, because I don't care, but I'm not going to say the name. But yeah, it's a refreshing thing too for me, and like for us, I think, because it's I think you're bringing like a great thing to the Austin scene. I'm happy that you are here, like, as a person, and I'm glad that we're like able to like have you and like talk about some of that, because I'm like, I feel like your best is yet to come. You're like, the season you're coming into is going to be like I see good things for you, because I think your headspace is like, your mindset is right.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me that over the last few months, which is pretty cool. But I do feel like I'm on the come up for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you for the kind words.
No. Well, I feel like we are, as a podcast, still like on the come up. Yeah. We've gotten like a little bit of notice, but I'm like, at a certain point too, you're like, we're just trying to make something.
You know what the great thing is about like having your life fall apart multiple times is that there's always a up. Like, when you reach the bottom, the only way to look up is up.
Yeah.
Or the only way to look is up.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of encouraging, because after 2025, I came out of that being like, knock on wood, but I don't think it could get worse.
Talking about bombing, you talk about breaking your leg. Bombing will never bother me again after bombing on Kill Tony. Like, there's nothing that will ever approach bombing in front of 2 million people.
That's so funny. I didn't know that happened. I'm so sorry.
Well, I stand by the jokes, okay?
Yeah. I've bombed on stage and singing.
I've had nights, multiple, when I was really doing a lot of stand-up, where it's like one set. I did the same set in 2 different locations with totally different reactions. It's like, you just don't know. But like, the feeling like.
But now every show is better.
No, like, and it's like, oh, you're worried about bombing. People are like worried to do stand-up. It's like, oh, that's cute. That's cute that
it's just part of the game.
You're there with
I love when young musicians say, well, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared that I'm going to mess up. I'm like, well, that's a bummer, because that's going to happen a lot.
Yeah. Your goal should be to just be minimizing that every show and being able to be not affected. It's like a quarterback that throws an interception, short memory, like short memory on your mistakes, and just locking back in and going right back in.
And it's so good for you.
Because flow state could be slightly interrupted, but if you're really in that frequency, you can just get right back, just that little blip, and stay in there. What are you gonna say?
It's good for your character development. It's good to learn how to laugh at yourself. And I was an extremely sensitive kid, and like, doing music was the worst and best thing that I could have chosen for myself. I mean, it was insanely hard on somebody who was super self-conscious, took literally everything personally, could not handle criticism of any kind, and getting into music. The only thing that kept me in was because I was so obsessed with music, and I knew it was what I was supposed to do. Yeah. And I stayed in it, but it was a hard fight, and I'm so grateful that I chose a career path like that, because now I'm somebody who, like, you can say almost anything to me. I'm like, it's not that I won't get my feelings hurt, but like, I'll be okay. I'll bounce back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I've heard worse. I think everybody should like do something like that they're really scared to do, where they're subject to possible criticism, because I just think it really builds character. It also makes you more empathetic. It makes you more patient with people. Nobody likes anybody that takes everything personally. And I was literally that person up until like maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that's great. That's amazing, because you use the word accountability on the podcast. I don't think I've ever heard a woman say, we haven't had like a ton of women on
Female
here.
accountability.
Oh man, no, yeah, and I think it's really like, remember that like your opinion of you is always going to matter more than other people's opinion of you. So just keep
Oh,
your
yeah.
opinion of you in a good place, because you can't fake that.
Yeah.
You can try to fake it to other people and make them think you like that you have a good opinion on you.
Yep.
When you don't.
Yep.
But the people that do, it's going to shine through because they're going to feel, it's like, your criticism is great, but also fuck you, because you're not in the
Yeah.
arena. I don't care
Yeah,
what you
you're
have
wrong.
to say.
Some people are
I
just
don't care
wrong.
what the peasants in the peanut gallery think.
Yeah. 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 You
Just
got to
gotta-
know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just own it and be in that total radical ownership of that thing that you are, and then fucking move some fucking mountains.
Yeah.
Climb some mountains.
Yeah.
We should probably end this. Like we're a little over.
Yeah.
Do you have
anything
any pipes?
that you want to plug? Any
pipes?
shows coming up? Anything you want to let the people know about?
Yeah. So I just dropped a song and a music video called Make Believe that we worked really hard on. We shot it on 35 millimeter film.
Got the Disney
Cool.
thing going, right?
Nice.
Like the princess vibes.
Yeah. It's very, I'm really, really proud of that one. So check out Make Believe. You can find it anywhere you watch music videos, probably YouTube. I'm on Spotify, I'm on Instagram, all the places. And I have another single coming out in a couple months that I also will have a music video for. And I'm working on my first full-length album thanks to the city of Austin. I got a grant from them, and I was finally able to have enough money to work on a full-length
The
album.
universe is talking to us, Kai. We just had a meeting and
About the grant?
About
Yeah, you should
we,
apply.
like it's we were talking about the deadline. I'm like, it's August 18th. I think I was like, because
Yeah.
I'm like, we've worked really hard on this and invested a lot of our own money into it. So I'm like,
I think you guys are good candidates because you've been
Yeah.
at it. You've had consistency, and that's
Yeah.
all they want to see.
yeah,
But it did take me, just so you know, it took me 3 times
Yeah.
of applying.
which
So,
I mean, yeah, I've never advanced in a comedy contest ever.
yeah.
So
Got to try again. You know?
Just got to
But-
keep putting it in.
never
Yeah.
won.
yeah.
No, actually, that's not true. But yeah,
But yeah, so working on that album, which I'm super stoked about. And then I'll be gone most of the summer playing shows in the Black Hills in South Dakota, and a little mini tour up there.
Deadwood.
And, yep, Deadwood, Rapid City, Sturgis, all the places. And then just keep up with me and my journey on social media when I decide to post. And yeah, I'm just keeping the ball rolling
Yeah.
and building and
That's
having
all
a
it
lot of
is.
fun.
So that's amazing for you that you got that grant. Congratulations on that, because
Thank
that's
you.
awesome that it gives you that ability to like do things in a way that you would like. Okay, I don't have to feel the stress of these normal life things that I'm like gonna have, like where I
Yeah.
can actually do the best job possible. It's like
It feels like once I
Opens
got
that
that
up.
grant and started working on the album, it felt like I finally started my career, which is so silly because I started a long time ago, but it was like, this is what I want to do. I
Yeah.
want to make music.
yeah.
And to have that barrier gone for a temporary amount of time, or the barrier was lowered substantially.
Yeah.
But like that has
Can't
been
keep a good
so
girl
fun.
down though.
No. Oh my gosh. I mean,
A
we
good
didn't-
gal.
Dude, we didn't even talk about half the crap that happened to me last year, but I tell you what, like if something's trying to get to me and keep me from pursuing music, like at this point, I've now proved to myself
Yeah.
and everybody else, but most importantly myself, that I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll be doing this until I take my last breath.
Yeah, hell yeah. That is literally the mindset you have to have to
Yeah.
be to anything. And it's like fuck the fame, the love of the game, and and you're always welcome here with
Thank you.
us. So hopefully we can get big too, and everybody eats. Everybody eats.
If you want to come back once that album drops,
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that'd
share
be
some
fun.
stories.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to have you back on that. Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much. This was a great 75th.
This is a nice 75,
It's
3/4
a nice-
to 100. It's
I like
a nice one.
it's got good numerology.
Yeah.
And we're so grateful on that note to have you in. So
Thank you.